Chapter 1406. Bring about one's own destruction. Yang Hongwu raised his hands and a majestic magic power burst out. At this moment, the devouring furnace became even bigger, as though it could envelop the entire world. The gigantic black hole devoured the energy of this world in a frenzy. Even the power of world annihilation could not withstand it. Even the source of this world was about to be devoured. The devouring power was getting more and more terrifying, and the speed of devouring was getting more and more shocking. It was as if nothing could stop this terrifying devouring power. Even the rocks in the surroundings were swallowed into the furnace. Then, they were all smelted and turned into pure energy that entered Yang Hongwu's body. His magic power was constantly increasing. The power of world destruction can be devoured? Zhong Wang's eyes widened. He wanted to destroy his own small world and let it evolve again. He did not expect that Yang Hongwu's secret technique would be so terrifying that it could even devour his own power of destruction. How could he not be shocked? At this moment, his eyes were filled with extreme fear. He was already regretting it. Why did he bring this kid into his small world? This was a pearl of the world that he had obtained by chance in an ancient ruin. He had paid a huge price to evolve this small world. In order to kill Yang Hongwu, he was willing to pay any price to destroy this pocket dimension. However, what made him feel extremely sullen was that even though he had done so, he was still unable to kill Yang Hongwu. Not only that, this little bastard was actually devouring the origin energy of his miniature world. Furthermore, Yang Hongwu was devouring the origin energy of his miniature world, allowing his cultivation to rise continuously. What kind of pervert was this? If he had known that this little bastard was so terrifying, he would not have found trouble with him. Little bastard, don't you want Bai Yunjian's life anymore? Zhong Wang shouted. If you don't surrender, I'll kill Bai Yunjian and kill him. With a thought, a cage appeared in Zhong Wang's hand. The person trapped in the cage was none other than Bai Yunjian's soul. At this moment, Bai Yunjian's face was distorted. Clearly, his primordial spirit was severely injured and he was suffering intense pain. Grandmaster, don't worry about me. Kill this bastard. Kill him. Bai Yunjian saw Yang Hongwu and shouted loudly. Shut up. Zhong Wang was stunned at first. He did not expect Bai Yunjian to call Yang Hongwu Grandmaster. This was completely beyond his expectations. However, he immediately sealed the white cloud sword, not allowing him to speak. Yang Hongwu did not stop devouring the origin energy of this world. He looked coldly at Zhong Wang and said, You think too much. After devouring this small world of yours, my strength will increase tremendously. Would I give up such an opportunity? When Zhong Wang heard this, he was very angry. However, he also knew that Yang Hongwu was telling the truth. If it were him, he would not give up such an opportunity in such a situation. Don't you care about the lives of Bai Yunjian and the other disciples of the Sky Sword sect? Zhong Wang asked. Let them go and I'll give you a chance to live, said Yang Hongwu as he continued to devour the source energy of this world. Give me a chance to live? When Zhong Wang heard this, he was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This bastard wanted him to release Bai Yunjian, and now he wanted to devour his world's origin. How was this possible? That's impossible. If you don't stop, I'll completely destroy this small world and perish together with you. Zhong Wang was completely enraged. I'll self-destruct this small world. It'll be enough to kill you. Why don't you self-destruct for me to see? Yang Hongwu showed a look of disdain. Yang Hongwu did not think that Zhong Wang was willing to do that. The loss of self-destructing a miniature world was not something that an ordinary person could bear. Not only would the world be completely destroyed, but there would also be a huge backlash. The backlash would not be small. If the miniature world self-destructed, then Zhong Wang's foundation would be completely destroyed, and his origin would be seriously injured. It might even endanger his life. Therefore, No one who had an inner world would self-destruct their world unless they were at the end of their rope. What do you want? Zhong Wang was so angry that his body trembled. He hated Yang Hongwu to the core. He wanted to eat his flesh, drink his blood, and tear him into pieces. If looks could kill, then Yang Hongwu would have died 10,000 times. Zhong Wang was also extremely aggrieved. In his inner world, he could be said to be a god, the ruler. However, Yang Hongwu was such a freak, an anomaly. Yang Hongwu's cultivation was only at the Great Saint realm, which was far inferior to Zhong Wang. However, he was not afraid in Zhong Wang's miniature world. The power of Zhong Wang's miniature world could not harm him at all. Even if Zhong Wang used the power of the miniature world to destroy him, he could not do it. Moreover, his origin would be devoured by Zhong Wang. How frustrating would that be? It'll be fine as long as my cultivation breaks through to the half-step Great Emperor realm. What do you think? Yang Hongwu said. Let me devour your origin so that my cultivation can break through to the half-step Great Emperor realm. After that, you will release the people of Sky Sword sect and I will not pursue this matter any further. Zhong Wang frowned when he heard this. Wasn't it too easy for him to devour origin until his cultivation reached the half-step Great Emperor realm? In his opinion, how much energy would a 8th-level Great Saint realm martial artist need to reach the half-step Great Emperor realm? No matter how strong Yang Hongwu's foundation was, he should be able to break through after devouring 1/5 of the origin, right? However, he thought about it. Yang Hongwu's cultivation was only at the 8th-level Great Saint realm. For a martial artist, even if his foundation was strong, the amount of energy he could devour was limited. Once the limit was exceeded, there would be a huge backlash and his body would explode. Therefore, it was impossible for Yang Hongwu to devour much of the energy in his miniature world. Thinking of this, Zhong Wang's lips curled into a smile. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. He was too anxious previously and did not think of this. Little bastard, I was almost fooled by you. Zhong Wang looked at Yang Hongwu and said coldly, Go ahead and devour. I'll let you devour as much as you want. Let's see how much energy you can devour. After saying that, Zhong Wang mobilized all the energy in his miniature world and sent it surging towards Yang Hongwu. In an instant, the energy around Yang Hongwu became even more terrifying. The energy of the entire miniature world surged towards him. The huge amount of energy seemed like it was going to explode Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1407. In the Immortal Pagoda. What was the Child of Fortune? This was it. If Yang Hongwu were to devour by himself, the speed would be much slower. However, with Zhong Wang's help, the speed of Yang Hongwu's devouring and refining had increased by at least a few times. The majestic energy made Yang Hongwu extremely happy. He devoured the energy crazily to improve his cultivation. This speed, tsk. Yang Hongwu estimated that if this continued, his cultivation would increase by another level in less than half an hour. The energy of the entire small world rushed in crazily. This devouring furnace was really powerful. The refining speed was so shocking. It was much faster than the demon devouring mark and devouring real body. Yang Hongwu was impressed by himself. However, Yang Hongwu did not look happy. Instead, he pretended to be in pain. It was as if he could not bear the majestic pressure and the impact of the terrifying energy. Moreover, he acted as if he wanted to stop the majestic energy from entering the devouring furnace. Damn Zhong Wang! Husband! Brother! Seeing Yang Hongwu in such a state, the girls were worried and shouted loudly. Haha, little bastard! Didn't you want my origin energy? Go ahead and devour it. I'll let you devour it to your heart's content. You're just a mere Great Saint realm martial artist. You're overestimating yourself. Seeing Yang Hongwu in pain, as if he was about to explode, Zhong Wang laughed wildly. He was overjoyed. If you continue to be arrogant, I'll let you devour it. I'll let you devour it to your heart's content. Bastard, stop it! Yang Hongwu shouted. His face became extremely ferocious. His body began to swell as if he was about to explode. Too late, too late. I've said that I'll let you die. Zhong Wang said coldly. You destroyed my fire god dynasty. You destroyed my everything. You destroyed my future. You must die. The fire god dynasty was originally Zhong Wang's plan. It was his hope of breaking through the shackles and becoming a supreme expert. He needed to borrow the power of faith of the fire god dynasty to upgrade his miniature world. However, because of Yang Hongwu, the fire god dynasty was completely destroyed by Yang Hongwu, causing him to lose everything. Thus, Zhong Wang was completely awakened. He hated Yang Hongwu to the bone. If the fire god dynasty hadn't been destroyed, he would have waited until the small world had been upgraded to a certain level. Then, he would have woken up and merged the entire fire god dynasty into the small world. At that time, his cultivation would have skyrocketed, and he would have broken through the shackles in one fell swoop. He would have entered the divine domain and become a peak true god expert, or even a higher realm. The reason why he did this was because he knew that if he had ascended to the deity domain from the beginning, he would only be in existence at the bottom of the deity domain. As the founder of the fire god dynasty, how could he be willing to submit to others? Even fire god Duan Yen wouldn't be able to do so. For this reason, he spent a great amount of energy to establish a huge dynasty. However, because of Yang Hongwu, all his plans were ruined. The fire god dynasty was finished. His miniature world couldn't get the power of faith, and his subsequent plans were ruined. How could he not be angry? Therefore, he hated Yang Hongwu to the bone. That was why he set up such a trap to deal with Yang Hongwu. Zhong Wang, you're so ruthless. Yang Hongwu shouted, Do you want to perish together with me? Perish together? Zhong Wang sneered. Do you have the ability to do so? This is my inner world. Even if you self-destruct, it won't hurt me. In this world, I'm the master. However, if you're willing to submit to me and tell me the secret technique that can devour my inner world, I can spare your life. However, you have to become my slave and my loyal dog. You must be dreaming. Yang Hongwu was furious when he heard this. Ah! Yang Hongwu roared loudly. His entire body expanded, as if he was about to explode. His body shrank and contracted, as if he had reached his limit. Haha, explode! Explode! Seeing this, Zhong Wang was extremely happy. He waved his right hand and an even greater amount of origin energy entered Yang Hongwu's body. Boom! With a muffled sound, Yang Hongwu's aura changed. His cultivation had broken through. He had broken through the shackles of the 8th level Great Sage Realm and entered the 9th level Great Sage Realm. Yang Hongwu was elated. His cultivation had broken through the shackles and reached the 9th level Great Sage Realm. TSK. He had reached the 9th level Great Sage Realm from the peak of the 7th level Great Sage Realm. Without the help of Zhong Wang, he didn't know how long it would take for his cultivation to reach the 9th level Great Sage Realm. Perhaps he could only rely on the power of Dragon Island. He was a little dumbfounded when he saw Yang Hongwu had broken through. 9th level Great Sage Realm. You actually broke through. Zhong Wang gritted his teeth. I don't believe you can devour much. So what if Yang Hongwu was in the 9th level Great Sage Realm? He was still in the Great Sage Realm. How much could he devour? Zhong Wang became even more frenzied. He gritted his teeth and his face turned ferocious. He frantically gathered the surrounding energy. At this moment, all the spiritual energy within a radius of 1,000 feet was condensed into a solid state. Terrifying! How terrifying! The spiritual energy condensed into a solid state. It was too crazy. Yang Hongwu was worried about the girls. He communicated with them with his mind and kept them in the Dragon Gate. After all, this energy was too terrifying. He could devour it without limit, but this didn't mean that Yuji and the others could do the same. The devouring furnace turned into a huge black hole and devoured the energy crazily. It was getting more and more terrifying. Yang Hongwu looked like he was in pain, but in fact, Yang Hongwu was feeling extremely good. There was nothing more satisfying than this. TSK, even when he devoured the dragon vein, he didn't feel so good. The energy here was comparable to a top-notch dragon vein. No, it should be more than a dragon vein. After all, this was a world of its own. After devouring so much energy, Yang Hongwu was surprised to find that his connection with the immortal pagoda of the Clear Sky Pagoda was getting stronger. He could vaguely communicate with the immortal pagoda. The immortal pagoda's space. If he could communicate with the immortal pagoda's space, it would be very beneficial to him. However, what made Yang Hongwu a little confused was that the immortal pagoda's space seemed to be devouring the energy, and his cultivation level was increasing slowly. Of course, it was all worth it. The improvement of cultivation level could be done with the help of other resources. However, it was very difficult to open the immortal pagoda's space. It seemed that it could only be opened with the power of the world's origin. Chapter 1408. Cracks in the void. Damn it, why isn't he dead yet? The Zong Wang looked at Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu had already devoured almost half of the small world's source energy, but he still didn't seem to have any problems. He still looked the same, there were no signs of him exploding. This made the Zong Wang suspect that Yang Hongwu was deliberately acting like this. Thinking of this, Zong Wang's face changed. This little bastard, is he lying to me? Zong Wang looked at Yang Hongwu and thought to himself. At this time, Yang Hongwu obviously knew that Zong Wang was suspecting him. He expanded his body, and his whole body was like a huge balloon that could explode at any time. It was as if he had reached his limit, and he was only a hair away from exploding. Seeing Yang Hongwu like this, Zong Wang thought to himself, looks like he can't hold on any longer. He's going to explode. Die. Zong Wang roared in his heart, staring at Yang Hongwu. At this time, Yang Hongwu's speed of devouring the origin energy of the pocket dimension was getting faster and faster. Yang Hongwu found that the connection between the immortal pagoda and the immortal pagoda was getting closer. A trace of his divine sense could already enter the immortal pagoda. This made Yang Hongwu very happy. Open for me. Yang Hongwu increased the speed of devouring the origin energy of the pocket dimension. The crack became bigger and bigger. 1 breath, 2 breaths. After a dozen breaths, the crack was completely torn open. Yang Hongwu found that the immortal pagoda's space was much smaller than before. This time, after devouring the origin energy of Zong Wang's pocket dimension, the immortal pagoda's space was getting bigger and bigger. What's going on? After a few dozen breaths, the immortal pagoda's space was getting bigger and bigger, while Zong Wang's pocket dimension was getting smaller. This made Zong Wang feel that something was wrong. He was not a fool. At this time, how could he not know that Yang Hongwu was deliberately plotting against him? Otherwise, Yang Hongwu would not be able to explode after so long. Moreover, he felt that the origin energy of the pocket dimension was getting faster and faster. In a short time, his pocket dimension's origin energy was only 30% or less. Bastard, die, I want you die. Zong Wang was furious. He disregarded everything and was about to detonate his small world. Of course, Yang Hongwu would not let him do as he wished. I didn't expect you to only realize it now. However, it seems that it's too late now. Yang Hongwu smiled faintly. The self-destruction of a pocket dimension was extremely terrifying. This pocket dimension belonged to Zong Wang. Although Yang Hongwu was not afraid of the pocket dimension's destructive power, he could not withstand the self-destruction of a pocket dimension. With a thought, Yang Hongwu's body flashed and instantly disappeared from the spot, leaving Zong Wang's small world. At this time, Zone Wang had already detonated the origin energy of the pocket dimension. Once the explosion started, it was impossible to stop. When he realized that Yang Hongwu had disappeared from his pocket dimension the moment he detonated the origin energy of the pocket dimension, his expression changed. He wanted to stop everything, but it was too late. Once the self-destruction of the pocket dimension started, it could not be stopped. He was crazy, completely crazy. Ah, Yang Hongwu, you bastard, you will die a horrible death. The moment Yang Hongwu left Zone Wang's pocket dimension, he wanted to grab Bai Yunjian's primordial spirit. However, he realized that Zone Wang did not give him a chance. He could only smile bitterly. Although Yang Hongwu did not want Bai Yunjian to die, he had no other choice. Boom! With a loud sound, the entire space shook. This was the self-destruction of a pocket dimension. In an instant, it formed a huge black hole and countless terrifying spatial storms. This spatial storm swept across the entire Tsangshan continent. The space of the Tsangshan continent collapsed little by little, forming a huge crack. This crack was a crack in the void. Endless astral winds blew in from the void, swallowing the space of the Tsangshan continent little by little. Not good. When Yang Hongwu saw this scene, his face changed. He did not expect the self-destruction of a pocket dimension to be so terrifying. It actually created a crack in the void, and endless astral winds were swallowing the Tsangshan continent. If this continued, the entire Tsangshan continent might turn into nothingness. At the moment when all of this happened, Yang Hongwu felt an unparalleled karma landing on his body. Yang Hongwu frowned. Karma, the karma of the pocket dimension being destroyed. This was also very frightening. Yang Hongwu instantly felt that the power of the laws of the common people continent had a huge repulsive force towards Yang Hongwu. In the sky, a terrifying power was condensed. This terrifying power was the power of the heavenly punishment. Karma, heaven's punishment. It seemed that the destruction caused by Zone Wang's self-destruction of the pocket dimension was considered by the heavenly law of the Tsangshan continent to be caused by Yang Hongwu. Heaven's punishment, it was heaven's punishment. Yang Hongwu was not afraid. For Yang Hongwu, this was simply a huge benefit. However, the most important thing now was to seal this crack in the void. Otherwise, it might lead to the destruction of the entire Tsangshan continent. This was what Yang Hongwu was not willing to see. To repair this crack in the void was not an easy task. If it was not repaired, the Tsangshan continent might be destroyed. Even if it was not destroyed, it would cause the death of countless living beings. Although this was not directly caused by Yang Hongwu, it was still related to him. It was indirectly caused by him. To watch so many people die because of him, Yang Hongwu was not willing. If he really let the crack in the void continue to develop, what was the difference between him and the heaven-devouring blood demon? He was even more evil than the heaven-devouring blood demon. In this way, Yang Hongwu had no way to convince his heart. In the future, he would definitely be haunted by the heart demon, and it would be impossible for him to break through. Yang Hongwu suddenly thought of something. To repair this crack, he would need at least a top-grade emperor weapon. Yang Hongwu would have a lot of emperor weapons, including top-grade emperor weapons. However, Yang Hongwu would not be willing to give up the Heaven Palace, Dragon Gate, and the Hongmeng War Saber. However, fortunately, in addition to these three emperor weapons, Yang Hongwu also obtained a supreme treasure, which was the Divine Light Steel. This Divine Light Steel was best used to repair this crack in the void. Divine Light Steel, go! Chapter 1409. Merit. A lightning tribulation struck Yang Hongwu's body. Yang Hongwu ignored it and used his physical body to withstand the attack. Yang Hongwu channeled his spiritual power into the Radiant's Divine Steel and merged it into the crack in the void. Damn it! Yang Hongwu roared and increased his output. If it was just a heavenly punishment, Yang Hongwu would not care. However, he focused all his attention on repairing the crack in the void. In the eyes of the heavenly Tao, Yang Hongwu was the biggest threat in this world. The karma on Yang Hongwu's body was too terrifying. In addition, Yang Hongwu had devoured the heavenly punishment, which caused this world to reject Yang Hongwu. Therefore, even if there was a crack in the void, in the eyes of the heavenly Tao, the most important thing was to kill Yang Hongwu. Fuse with me. The veins on Yang Hongwu's body bulged as he channeled his boundless dermic powers into it, speeding up the repair of the crack in the void. The power of the heavenly punishment came crashing down crazily, as if it would not rest until Yang Hongwu was completely destroyed. Rumble! Rumble! The lightning tribulation did not seem to care about his life. It also caused Yang Hongwu a lot of damage. However, Yang Hongwu gritted his teeth and persevered for the sake of the living beings in this world. Although the lightning tribulation was a great threat to him, Yang Hongwu could still withstand it. Kacha! After a crisp sound, the space under Yang Hongwu's feet shattered as it could not withstand the powerful lightning tribulation. What was worse was that a terrifying aura appeared from the crack in the void. It was an incomparably evil aura. Damn it, why is there a void-devouring demon? Yang Hongwu's expression changed drastically. The terrifying aura that came out of the spatial crack belonged to a very evil and terrifying devil beast. It was the void-devouring devil. This kind of devil beast could devour all spatial world. Yang Hongwu had never seen such a thing before, but when it appeared, Yang Hongwu's mind was filled with information about it. Damn Sky Law! Yang Hongwu could not help but feel a little annoyed. This damned heavenly Tao, did it not know who the real enemy was? Not knowing the severity of the situation, it was as if he wanted to perish together with him. If it weren't for the fact that the void-devouring devil was still very far away, it would have arrived in this world in the blink of an eye. At that time, once the void-devouring devil entered this world would be completely devoured and destroyed. However, this damned heavenly law's heavenly punishment was still descending, which made Yang Hongwu especially angry. If it weren't for the fact that he couldn't leave this world now, Yang Hongwu really did not want to repair the spatial crack. However, Yang Hongwu only thought about it. Even if he could really leave this world, Yang Hongwu would not leave so easily. This was because Yang Hongwu could not be sure if the other women were here. If they were, wouldn't he be harming them if he allowed this world to be destroyed? Yang Hongwu was not a cold-blooded person, especially in front of his women. Even if he had to pay the price with his life, he would not watch his women die. Phew! Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and sped up, desperately trying to repair the spatial crack. Yang Hongwu had already repaired more than half of the spatial crack. There was only a little bit left. As long as this little bit of the spatial crack was repaired, everything would be fine. After all, the void-devouring devil was still very far away from here. The void-devouring devil was very terrifying, but it was not without weaknesses. However, compared to ordinary people, the void-devouring devil's weaknesses were almost non-existent. Yang Hongwu did not know why such information about the void-devouring devil appeared in his memory. At this moment, Yang Hongwu did not have the time to study so much. Time passed bit by bit. After Yang Hongwu forcefully withstood a powerful thunder of heavenly punishment, he was finally able to repair the void crack. After completing all this, Yang Hongwu finally heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, Yang Hongwu turned his head and prepared to deal with the heavenly punishment. When he was about to devour the thunder of heavenly punishment, Yang Hongwu was dumbfounded. The heavenly punishment disappeared. Instead, golden lotuses bloomed one after another. Golden lotus petals fell one after another as the seven-colored light fused into Yang Hongwu's body. This is? Yang Hongwu did not know whether to laugh or cry. This was actually the power of merit. The divine punishment disappeared and was replaced by the power of merit. What annoyed Yang Hongwu even more was that after the power of merit entered his body, it dissolved the karma in his body. This made Yang Hongwu even more speechless. It was not that Yang Hongwu could not resolve his own karma. The reason why he did not resolve it was because Yang Hongwu wanted to let Huolian handle it. Huolian was the red lotus of hellfire. The karma was some very good nourishment for her. After devouring the karma, Huolian's strength should be able to rise to another level. However, all this was completely destroyed because of the descent of the heavenly punishment. Yang Hongwu did not know whether to laugh or cry. What the f***ck? What the hell is this? Yang Hongwu could not help but want to kill someone. He pointed to the sky and scolded loudly, "You damn god, you are simply a bastard. Damn it, I worked so hard to repair the spatial crack for you, but you don't know what's good for you. When I was repairing the spatial crack, you sent down the heavenly punishment to interfere with my work. Now that the spatial crack has been repaired, I need the power of heavenly punishment, a vast amount of energy to improve my cultivation and heal my injuries. But you don't give me the thunder of heavenly punishment." Yang Hongwu was also depressed to the extreme. However, no matter how Yang Hongwu cursed, there was no change. The heavenly punishment did not appear in the end. Moreover, the repulsive force against Yang Hongwu was eliminated. This made Yang Hongwu especially speechless. Damn it. Yang Hongwu was extremely depressed. However, the changes in the heavens and the earth made the others incomparably shocked. Such a boundless amount of merit energy was too shocking. Chapter 14:10. Golden Lotus of Merit. Merit was something that countless people coveted. They didn't even mind soaking in the pool of merit. Who would complain that they had too much merit? In this world, this kind of thing was like money. No one would complain that they had too little. But Yang Hongwu didn't care about it. Merit? To him, it didn't have any use. He didn't cultivate the merit law, and he didn't want to use merit to prove his Tao. What he needed was karma, boundless karma. He wanted to use karma to cultivate the red lotus karmic fire, and make the fire lotus even stronger. It was just that Yang Hongwu couldn't do those outrageous things. If he did, it would go against his conscience and it would be easy for him to go berserk. At that time, he wouldn't just go berserk. He would definitely become an unparalleled devil. Yang Hongwu didn't want to become such a demon. At that time, he wouldn't be himself, but another person, another consciousness. His original consciousness would be completely erased and replaced. Of course, Yang Hongwu didn't want such a situation. Who is it that obtains such a huge amount of merit? Could it be that he opened up a small world? No, even if it was a small world, it's impossible to have such a huge amount of merit. Some ancient existences were discussing. They wanted to know who it was, and what kind of great deed they had done to make the heavenly Tao bestow such a huge amount of merit power. These ancient existences were all incomparably envious. To them, after cultivating for countless years and reaching such a level, which one of them didn't have a huge amount of karma on their body. This karma would attract a terrifying heavenly tribulation. If one's cultivation wasn't enough, it was very likely that they would be turned into ashes during the tribulation. Even if one succeeded in crossing the tribulation and ascended to the divine realm, those with too much karma would attract heavenly tribulation after a certain number of years. This was the disadvantage of having too much karma. However, if one had merit, it would be different. Once there was merit, it could offset the negative karma. Moreover, if there was enough merit, not only could it offset the negative karma, but it could also resist and weaken the heavenly tribulation. More importantly, after ascending, one wouldn't be like those who had too much karma and didn't have merit to protect them. They wouldn't attract heavenly tribulation. This meant that there was no need to worry about their lives, and they didn't need to worry about the arrival of heavenly tribulation. This was something that many people dreamed of. However, for Yang Hongwu, merit was useless. What he wanted was karma. It was a pity that so much karma. Otherwise, that much karma would be enough to upgrade the fire lotus and make his red lotus karmic fire even stronger. But now, with the appearance of merit, the negative karma was eliminated, making all of Yang Hongwu's calculations go to waste. Hence, at that very moment, Yang Hongwu was extremely depressed. If those old antiques knew what Yang Hongwu was thinking at that very moment, they would definitely be furious. One should know that it wasn't easy to obtain heavenly merit. Many people had done a lot of good deeds in order to obtain merit, but they didn't get much merit. However, Yang Hongwu had obtained too much merit. It was simply unprecedented. If he were to cultivate the secret skill of merit, such a huge amount of merit would be enough for him to break through the bottleneck and become an expert at the peak of Tai True God realm. However, Yang Hongwu didn't care about it. Of course, the merit wasn't useless to Yang Hongwu. This was because the power of merit didn't just eliminate the karma on his body. Most importantly, it eliminated the heavenly way and the world's rejection of him. This was the biggest benefit that Yang Hongwu had obtained. In fact, what Yang Hongwu didn't know was that besides these uses, merit had another benefit, which was to increase one's luck. This was especially true for the providence of this world. Speaking of which, Yang Hongwu's luck was certainly very heaven-defying. However, in this world, his luck wasn't very good. If it weren't for his special identity and cultivation method, his luck wouldn't be as strong as those so-called supreme talents in this world. However, Yang Hongwu's extraordinary luck, or in other words, the luck of the Great Path, was different. It was absolutely incomparable. The concept of luck was extremely mysterious. However, it existed. Not only did the people of the immortal Tao and divine Tao have luck, the people of the demon Tao also had luck. For example, Zetian. In fact, the original body of Zetian was a peerless devil with terrifying strength. Moreover, that guy was like a cockroach that couldn't be killed. No, he was much stronger than a cockroach. Many times, he was almost killed by Yang Hongwu. However, he didn't succeed every time. Moreover, every time he was almost killed by Yang Hongwu, he would become stronger. This made Yang Hongwu extremely annoyed. That guy was like a piece of sticky candy that he couldn't get rid of. Even now, when he came to the mortal continent, he met a purple moon demon king. This guy was very similar to Zetian. Although they looked different and had different names, Yang Hongwu was sure that this guy was 100% related to that bastard Zetian. Yang Hongwu even guessed that this bastard was an incarnation of Zetian. Those merits condensed into a golden lotus of merit. This golden lotus only had 3 petals, which meant that it was a third-grade golden lotus of merit. However, it still surprised Yang Hongwu. The golden lotus of merit. He didn't expect that the merits he got would form this thing. In fact, in the original untainted 3 realms, the power of merit was a good thing. The golden lotus of merit was even more amazing. Originally, Zhuanti had the golden lotus of merit. Later, in Buddhism, everyone could practice the golden lotus of merit. The most famous ones were, of course, Guanyin Bodhisattva and Gautama Buddha. These 2 could be said to be famous. In the secular world of the untainted 3 realms, their popularity was the highest. It could be said that their reputation was no less than that of the sages. Even in Buddhism, their reputation was much greater than that of the 2 Hierarch Zhuanti and Hierarch Jain. Those who didn't know Hierarch Jain and Hierarch Zhuanti knew Gautama Buddha and Guanyin Bodhisattva. The formation of the golden lotus of merit also made Yang Hongwu very puzzled. He didn't practice any cultivation method of the golden lotus of merit. However, these merits formed a third-grade golden lotus. Of course, Yang Hongwu also knew that this was a good thing. However, it was very difficult to form a 12th-grade golden lotus of merit. The number of merits needed was absolutely astronomical. Chapter 14:11. Goddess Palace. The virtuous golden lotus was kept by Yang Hongwu. This thing was of no use to Yang Hongwu, but he could give it to others. As for upgrading the virtuous Golden Lotus to the 12th grade, Yang Hongwu did not have that much thought. If he had more merits, perhaps he could refine them into a treasure, a powerful magic treasure like the mysterious yellow exquisite pagoda. The void crack was repaired, and Zhong Wang was also dead. Unfortunately, he had not completely devoured the origin power of Zhong Wang's small world, and had consumed a large part of it. Yang Hongwu himself also suffered serious injuries because of the void crack. Otherwise, it would not be long before Yang Hongwu could break through the bottleneck and enter the peak of the Great Saint Realm. In time, he could enter the half-step Great Emperor Realm. However, this time, the biggest benefit that Yang Hongwu obtained was the opening of the Immortal Pagoda's space. Now, a part of the Immortal Pagoda's space had been opened, but he did not know how long it would take to fully open it. However, this also gave Yang Hongwu a direction, a way to completely open, or in other words, completely repair the Immortal Pagoda's space and his own inner world. That was to devour the origin power of the world, to restore the Immortal Pagoda's space, and repair his own inner world. Although Yang Hongwu did not know whether this mortal continent was a world in the Great Seal of Life, one thing was certain. This world was definitely very closely related to his own inner world, or rather, it was closely related to the Great Seal of Life. After all, the Great Seal of Life was a supreme treasure. No one knew where this Great Seal of Life came from. Yang Hongwu even had a faint premonition that this Great Seal of Life was likely to be in existence comparable to the legendary Fortune Gate. If that was the case, then the Great Seal of Life was really awesome. However, he might not have been recognized by the Great Seal of Life. Perhaps the Great Seal of Life that he had obtained was only a part of the real Great Seal of Life, or a projection, or a clone. Those legendary supreme treasures, such as the Spear of Lightning, were very terrifying and powerful. When some experts were undergoing tribulations, the Spear of Lightning they encountered was just a projection. Of course, some terrifying experts did not encounter the Spear of Lightning, but a clone of the Spear of Lightning. Some powerful treasures and magical treasures had countless clones. These clones were not separated from the treasure itself, but were refined by other cultivators. After they were refined, the main body sensed it and gave these clones a trace of origin energy, becoming the true clones of these treasures. For them, the stronger the clone, the stronger their original body. Just the Spear of Lightning. There were countless planes in the Great Thousand Universe, and the lightning spear could appear in any of these planes. However, the true body of the lightning spear was nowhere to be found. No one knew where it had gone. In these planes of the universe, the Spear of Lightning existed. These so-called Spears of Lightning were just clones of the real Spear of Lightning. Moreover, every time the Spear of Lightning in these planes of the universe became stronger, the real Spear of Lightning would also become stronger. Therefore, some powerful magical treasures would use this method to cultivate. Of course, some cultivators were the same. Of course, only some powerful people could do this. It was impossible for ordinary martial artists. Martial artists who could create countless clones and enter countless planes of the universe to cultivate were very powerful. They could be called powerful people, real powerful people. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. Thinking of this, if the Great Seal of Life that he had obtained was just a clone of the Great Seal of Life, then everything could be explained. As for himself, as long as he increased his cultivation and obtained enough power of the world's origin, his inner world would open again and recover. At that time, all the mysteries would be revealed. After releasing Bairan and the other girls from the Dragon Gate, they were very worried. They all asked about Yang Hongwu's well-being, which made Yang Hongwu feel warm in his heart. "Don't worry, I'm fine. If I was, I wouldn't be standing here talking," Yang Hongwu said. "But you're injured." Bairan frowned and said, "Now we should find a place to wait for your injuries to recover before we think about other things." "Yes, that's right." Yuji nodded and said, "Why don't we go to Dragon Island?" Luli said, "In the Dragon Island, No one dares to disobey me. Moreover, under the pressure of brother's bloodline of dragons, no dragons would dare to disrespect brother. In addition, there are countless resources on the Dragon Island that can help brother recover his injuries and cultivation. This couldn't be better. Yes, that's fine. Bairan and Yuji nodded after hearing this. No. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, now is not the time to go to the Dragon Island. Our itinerary remains the same. First, we'll go to the Goddess Palace and then find those old guys from the Sky Sword sect. Going to the Goddess Palace was the most important thing because Nangong Sini of the Goddess Palace knew about the Great Seal of Life. To Yang Hongwu, the Great Seal of Life was the most important thing. Besides his women, nothing was more important than the Great Seal of Life. Therefore, the matter of going to the Dragon Island had to be postponed. As for finding those old guys from the Sky Sword sect, it was because of Bai Yunjian. Yang Hongwu himself caused Zhong Wang to self-destruct his small world, killing Bai Yunjian. Yang Hongwu felt guilty towards Bai Yunjian. Therefore, he wanted to find those old guys from the Sky Sword sect and find something that could revive Bai Yunjian. Find those old guys from the Sky Sword sect? Bai Yunjian is dead. She died because of me. Yang Hongwu said. Now, Bai Yunjian only has a trace of her soul left. This trace of soul needs to be nourished. Therefore, we need to find something related to Bai Yunjian in the Sky Sword sect, so that Bai Yunjian's soul can recover better. Is that so? Let's go. We'll go to the Goddess Palace now. Yang Hongwu said. The girls nodded. Yang Hongwu set up a formation and a teleportation formation. Because he knew the location of the Goddess Palace, he could directly set up a formation and teleport to the Goddess Palace. After setting up the teleportation formation, Yang Hongwu led the three girls into the formation. With a flash of light, Yang Hongwu and the others arrived at the mountain gate of the Goddess Palace. The Goddess Palace was located on the Goddess Peak. Chapter 14:12. Tai Immortal Sect, what a paradise on earth. Yang Hongwu couldn't help but sigh. This was indeed an extremely beautiful place. I have already sent a message to senior sister Nangong. She will come to pick us up soon. Yuji said, let's walk and wait. Yang Hongwu nodded. He followed Yuji into the mountain gate. Goddess Peak was indeed worthy of the title of goddess. Goddess Palace was also worthy of its name. The entire Goddess Palace was indeed full of beauties. However, Yang Hongwu's mind was not on this. Not long after, he saw Nangong Sini coming. Not only Nangong Sini, but also the elders and the palace master of Goddess Palace. Junior sister Yuji, you are finally here. Seeing Yang Hongwu and the others, Nangong Sini was very happy. She quickly greeted them, followed by the palace master and the elders of Goddess Palace. Master. Yuji saw the palace master of Goddess Palace, Gong Liani, and hurriedly bowed. It's good that you are back. Gong Liani said. This is my husband, Yang Hongwu. Yuji introduced Yang Hongwu, Bai Iran and Lu Li to Gong Liani and the others. However, to everyone's surprise, Gong Liani didn't give Yang Hongwu a good look. You are Yuji's husband? Yes. Yang Hongwu didn't expect that this woman would give him a bad look. Yang Hongwu was puzzled. When did he offend her? In any case, he had saved many disciples of the Goddess Palace. He was a great benefactor to the Goddess Palace. How could this woman treat him like this? It seemed unreasonable. Since you have Yuji, why are you still not satisfied? You have other women? Gong Liani said coldly. Only then did Yang Hongwu understand that this woman was dissatisfied with him for not only having Yuji as a woman. Thinking of this, Yang Hongwu did not bother about it anymore. After all, this woman was concerned about Yuji and was good to Yuji, so he had no reason to be angry. This seems to be a matter between me and Yuji. It has nothing to do with the palace master. Although Yang Hongwu did not intend to argue with this woman, it did not mean that he did not have a temper. You! Gong Liani was also quite angry. She said coldly, I am Yuji's master. How is it none of my business? Yuji is like my daughter. You're such a playboy, you're really not worthy of Yuji. It's not up to you to decide whether you're worthy of Yuji or not, Yang Hongwu said. This is the central continent, the goddess palace. It's not that barren continent. Even though you're talented, you're nothing here. Gong Liani turned to Yuji and said, Yuji, this playboy is not suitable for you. Another day, I'll introduce you to an outstanding heaven's pride. Nangong Sini and some of the female disciples who were saved by Yang Hongwu snickered. Of course, they knew about Yang Hongwu's ability. It could be said that in this continent, there was no man who was more outstanding than Yang Hongwu. Even the peerless heaven's pride of the Common Life Temple, Xing Yuanxing, was killed by Yang Hongwu. Not only that, even the elder of the Common Life Temple, Lu Xunshin, was killed. Therefore, there was no need to doubt Yang Hongwu's strength. Moreover, Yang Hongwu was most likely the reincarnation of an expert. His strength was terrifying. Once he recovered, he would be truly invincible in this world. No one would be his opponent. At that time, Yang Hongwu would be able to control the entire mortal continent. Seeing Palace Master Gong Liani treat Yang Hongwu like this, they were a little worried. However, seeing Yuji's appearance, they were relieved. After all, Yuji was also a disciple of the Goddess Palace. Naturally, she wouldn't watch Yang Hongwu and the Goddess Palace fall out. However, they really couldn't understand why the Palace Master was so angry. After all, they had already told the Palace Master about Yang Hongwu's previous actions. If it was anyone else who knew how powerful Yang Hongwu was, they wouldn't offend Yang Hongwu for such a trivial matter. Besides, for a person like Yang Hongwu, if it were other sex, they would be eager to rope him in. Why would they casually offend him? The Palace Master was also a smart person. Why did she do this? For a moment, people like Huang Yi were a little confused. They didn't know what the Palace Master meant by doing this. Palace Master. For example, Huang Yi was worried that Gong Liani would go too far and make Yang Hongwu angry. Once Yang Hongwu exploded, it would be terrible. Although she didn't know what Yang Hongwu's trump card was, she was sure of one thing. Yang Hongwu's strength was absolutely amazing. His trump card was unfathomable. If he truly unleashed his full power, no one in the entire Goddess Palace would be able to stop him. When Yang Hongwu heard Gong Liani's words, he didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed. Palace Master, I respect you as Yuji's master, so I'm talking to you nicely. Don't think that I'm easy to bully. Why don't you find someone to try? Yang Hongwu was really angry. He had no enmity with the Goddess Palace. On the contrary, he helped the Goddess Palace a lot. This woman not only didn't appreciate him, but also targeted him again and again. Anyone would be angry. Even Yuji felt the anger in Yang Hongwu's heart. Yuji was actually very happy. After all, this meant that Yang Hongwu cared about her very much. As a woman, the happiest thing was to see her beloved man jealous of her. Yuji was the same. However, Yuji was a smart woman. She didn't want Yang Hongwu to be really angry and fall out with the Goddess Palace. Of course, if Yang Hongwu really fell out with the Goddess Palace, Yuji would firmly stand on Yang Hongwu's side. Master, don't say any more. Yang Hongwu is my husband. He was, is, and will be. Yuji said. You really make me angry. Gong Liani said. Do you know who I'm introducing to you? No matter who it is, I won't accept it. Yuji shook her head and said firmly. So, Master, don't say any more. You little girl, what's so good about this kid? He's a playboy. The person I'm introducing to you is much stronger than this kid. He's a peerless genius of the God Realm from the Tai Yi Divine sect of the God Realm. Gong Liani said. He has become a Tai Yi true God expert at such a young age. He has cultivated for less than 1,000 years. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. He finally understood. No wonder she didn't put him in her eyes. Turned out that this woman had already connected with the god realm. Tai E Divine Sect, what a Tai E Divine Sect. In the end, this woman was doing it for her own benefit, not for Yuji. Even Nangong Sini's face changed when she heard this. Chapter 14:13. Falling out. Some people were dissatisfied, but there were also many people who were very happy, including the other members of the Goddess Palace. Some of the elders were very happy. That was an expert from the God realm. If they had a relationship with the God realm, it meant that they would have a powerful backer in the future. Why was the Common Life Temple so powerful? Why was it able to dominate the throne of the Common Life continent for so long? Why were there almost no forces that dared to challenge their authority? This was because the Common Life Temple had a powerful backer, and this backer was the Common Life Temple of the God Domain. The Common Life Temple was a sect of the God Domain, and the Common Life Temple was a subordinate power. In fact, the Common Life Temple was a sect of the Common Life Temple in the Common Life continent, and they were of the same origin. It was because of such a powerful backer that the Common Life Temple was able to stand tall. Even if the experts of the Common Life Temple were unable to descend, the Common Life Temple was still a great sect of the God realm. They could casually descend some resources to create countless peerless experts. In this world, for any sect there were two things that were most important. One was resources, the other was talent. The first one, resources, was the most important. With enough resources, one could create enough experts and attract enough geniuses. If a sect had no resources and no experts, how could it attract peerless geniuses? Therefore, if a sect had resources, it was equivalent to having everything. Although the Goddess Palace was not bad, it was not enough in front of the Common Life Temple. The most important reason was that the resources of the Goddess Palace could not be compared to the Common Life Temple. The gap was too big. The Common Life Temple had the support of the God realm, so how could the Goddess Palace compare? Therefore, after knowing that the Goddess Palace had the support of the God realm, she was very happy. This meant that the Goddess Palace was about to rise. They did not need to act according to the Common Life Temple anymore, and they did not need to worry that the Common Life Temple would harm the Goddess Palace. For so many years, as the Palace Lord of the Goddess Palace, Gong Liani had always been very cautious. It could even be said that she had to be wary of the Common Life Temple at all times. She was worried that the Common Life Temple would attack the Goddess Palace. Now that she had the support of the Tai E Divine Sect, she no longer needed to worry. As long as Yuji became the woman of the Tai E Divine Sect's peerless genius, that would be enough. She could use a disciple to exchange for the glorious future of the Goddess Palace. What reason did she have to refuse? Therefore, no matter who it was, no one could change her mind or destroy all of this. Anyone who wanted to stop all of this would be her enemy. Therefore, when Yuji brought Yang Hongwu to the Goddess Palace, Gong Liani was not happy. Instead, she was furious. What if the Tai E Divine Sect found out that Yuji had a man? How furious would he be? At that time, not only would the Goddess Palace not receive any resources from the Tai E Divine Sect, but they would also suffer the wrath of the Tai E Divine Sect. Just think about it. If you offended one of the Divine Realm's great sects, what would the consequences be? There was no need to think about it. At that time, the Goddess Palace would definitely be destroyed. The Goddess Palace alone would not be able to withstand the wrath of the Tai E Divine Sect. Therefore, no matter what, Yuji had to become the woman of the Tai E Divine Sect's peerless genius. As for Yang Hongwu, he deserved to die. Only by killing him could she cover up all of this and calm everything down. Originally, Gong Liani wanted to give Yang Hongwu a chance, seeing that he had saved Nangong Sini and the other girls. As long as he left Yuji, everyone would be happy. As the Palace Lord of the Goddess Palace, she did not need to bear the reputation of biting the hand that fed her. However, Yang Hongwu did not put her in his eyes. He did not take her words to heart and even threatened her. How could Gong Liani not be angry? It seems that the palace lord has climbed up the tree. Yang Hongwu sneered. Moreover, you want to betray your disciple to gain benefits. Brat, who do you think you are? This is our goddess palace's matter. You don't need to interfere. Now that we don't welcome you, you'd better leave now. Seeing that you saved Cinny and the others, I won't care about your rudeness. Gong Liani looked coldly at Yang Hongwu and said with disdain, I'm just a nobody. Yang Hongwu was completely furious. I don't care about a mere goddess palace. If it wasn't for Yuji and Nangong Cinny, I wouldn't have come. As long as I get what I want, I will leave and not stay here. After Yang Hongwu finished speaking, he looked at Nangong Cinny and said, Nangong Cinny, where are my things? Nangong Cinny opened her mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end, she didn't say anything. She knew that Yang Hongwu was really angry this time. If it wasn't for Yuji, the entire goddess palace would have been flooded with blood in the next moment. Nangong Cinny took out a box and threw it to Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu opened the box a little and scanned it with his divine sense. He knew that this was what he needed, so he kept the box. After that, Yang Hongwu turned to Yuji and Bairan and said, Let's go. Yuji nodded. She was also very uncomfortable with Gong Liani's actions. If it wasn't for the goddess palace's kindness to her, she would have done it herself. Yuji wasn't an ordinary woman. She wasn't stupid, and she wasn't the kind of woman who would be manipulated by others. It was true that Gong Liani had done her a favor, but it didn't mean that she would listen to Gong Liani's arrangements. If some things crossed her bottom line, then Yuji wouldn't be so stupid to be manipulated by Gong Liani. Master, I'll call you master again. I'll repay your kindness to me in the future. After saying that, Yuji turned and left the goddess palace with Yang Hongwu. Gong Liani saw that Yuji wanted to leave. How could she agree? What a joke. If Yuji left, how could she explain it to the Tai E Divine sect? When the peerless genius of the Tai E Divine sect came to ask for her, the goddess palace would be destroyed if no one in the goddess palace could report to him. Therefore, no matter what, she couldn't let Yuji leave the goddess palace. You can leave, but Yuji can't. Yuji must stay. Gong Liani looked coldly at Yuji and said, Yuji, I'm your master. Are you not going to listen to me? Chapter 14:14. Fight. Hearing this, Yang Hongwu coldly snorted and looked at Gong Liani. Gong Liani, don't be so shameless. Originally, for the sake of Yuji and Nangong Cinny, I didn't bicker with you, but you're still unwilling to let me off. Are you trying to test my patience? Little bastard, you're so arrogant. Gong Liani was furious. Today, no matter what, Yuji can't leave. As for you, little bastard, I won't kill you today, but you can't escape punishment. With that, Gong Liani made her move. She waved her hand and a ribbon flew towards Yang Hongwu. Seeing this, Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with contempt. He didn't care about Gong Liani's attack at all. Yang Hongwu was about to attack, but a white hand blocked his attack. It was Ru Huangyi. Ru Huangyi, you want to stop me? Gong Liani looked at the person who blocked her attack and couldn't believe it. She didn't expect that the person who blocked her attack was the person she trusted the most, Ru Huangyi. It could be said that Ru Huangyi was her confidant and the person she trusted the most among the experts of the Goddess Palace. However, she didn't expect that Ru Huangyi would be the first one to block her attack. How could she not be angry? Palace Master, you've gone too far. Ru Huangyi said. Moreover, Master Yang is our savior. We can't bite the hand that feeds us. I can't just watch you attack Master Yang. In fact, the reason why Ru Huangyi blocked Gong Liani was that Yang Hongwu saved her life. The other reason was that Yang Hongwu's strength was too terrifying. If she really angered Yang Hongwu, the entire Goddess Palace would be finished. Therefore, Ru Huangyi blocked Gong Liani's attack. She hoped that her explanation could dispel Gong Liani's thoughts. However, she was too naive. How could she change Gong Liani's mind now? Once Gong Liani saw that she was possessed by the devil, she would never change her mind easily. Moreover, in her heart, the Tai Divine sect was extremely powerful and terrifying. It was a great sect in the deity domain, and its influence was incomparably tyrannical. In the deity domain, it was an overlord, not to mention in the Tsongshan continent. Within the Tsongshan continent, there was absolutely no one and no sect that could compare to them. Once they received the care of the Tai Divine sect, the Goddess Palace could soar into the sky and become the most powerful force in the entire common people's continent. For many years, every palace master of the Goddess Palace wanted to become the most powerful force in the common people's continent. Gong Liani, as the 16th palace master of the Goddess Palace, had always been fighting for the Goddess Palace to stand at the peak of the common people's continent. All this time, she had not had much hope. Now that she had met the Tai Divine sect, she finally saw hope. She saw hope for a rise. Therefore, no matter what obstacles she encountered, she would never give up. Everyone who stood in her way was an enemy and must be killed. Huang Yi, do you know what you are doing? Seeing Huang Yi like this, Gong Liani was furious to the extreme. Huang Yi was the person she valued the most. Apart from Nangong Sini, the people she valued the most were Huang Yi and Yuji. Yuji ignored her words for a man. Now that Huang Yi had attacked again, her anger had reached the extreme. Palace Master, don't be stubborn. The one who is stubborn is you. Do you know how much damage it will cause to the Goddess Palace if I let Yuji leave? Once Yuji leaves, what will happen if the Tai Divine sect comes to ask for her? That is a powerful sect in the deity domain. It is the Tai Divine sect. They can easily destroy our Goddess Palace. Do you know that? If you stop me and let Yuji leave the Goddess Palace, it will cause the Goddess Palace to fall into an unprecedented crisis. At that time, you will be the sinner of the Goddess Palace. Do you know that? Gong Liani shouted, "Get out of my way now." But Huang Yi did not move. Sini, stop her. Gong Liani was about to attack, but in the end, she couldn't do it. After all, she had raised Huang Yi. She was like her own sister. I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see you do this. Nangong Sini also shook her head. If it wasn't for Yuji's husband, I would have died long ago. So, I won't help Master to stop Yuji from leaving. Are you rebelling? Gong Liani was furious. She didn't expect that the disciple she had always valued, Nangong Sini, would do the same. She had raised Nangong Sini as her successor. But now, Nangong Sini had disobeyed her orders. I'm sorry, Master. Nangong Sini said. Good, very good. You don't want to do it, right? Gong Liani said to the people behind her. Men, capture Huang Yi and Nangong Sini. Yes, Master. Some people were very happy to see Nangong Sini and Huang Yi like this. After all, Huang Yi and Nangong Sini had always been highly valued by Gong Liani. Many people had long disliked them. They were not on the same side as Nangong Sini and Huang Yi. They were enemies. Of course, they were very happy to see Huang Yi and Nangong Sini being defeated. Once Huang Yi and Nangong Sini lost the support of Gong Liani, they would have a chance. Others, capture Yuji and the others. Then Gong Liani pointed at Yang Hongwu and Yuji and shouted. The disciples of the Goddess Palace, except for those who were saved by Yang Hongwu, all the other disciples move. Goddess Scattering Flower Formation, rise. The female disciples of the Goddess Palace instantly set up a huge formation. This formation surrounded Yang Hongwu and the others. Seeing these female disciples setting up a formation to deal with him, Yang Hongwu couldn't help but laugh. This was simply showing off in front of Master Guan. In the common people's continent, there was no one who was stronger than Yang Hongwu in the Tao of formations. Not to mention in the common people's continent, even in the deity domain, there was no one who was stronger than him. Yang Hongwu had this confidence. A small formation could be easily broken by Yang Hongwu. You dare to attack? Do you know who I am? At this time, Lu Li glared and angrily shouted. Kill! The female disciples of the goddess palace didn't care about Luli. They were very jealous of this beautiful woman. Women were always like this. When they saw someone more beautiful than them, they would always have a jealous mentality. They couldn't bear to see someone more beautiful than them, especially an enemy. Chapter 14-15. Fear, how dare you? Do you want to face the wrath of the dragons? Luli roared, and a huge dragon aura burst out. This dragon aura was very terrifying, and some of the weaker warriors almost lost their mind. Dragons, so what if you are dragons? As long as I kill you all, who will know? Hearing that it was the dragons, Gong Lieni hesitated. Although the dragons were not a sect, and were not ranked in the common people's continent, but in fact, everyone knew that the dragons were the most mysterious and the most terrifying power in the common people's continent. No one knew how terrifying the dragons were, but one thing was clear. Every time the dragons came out to train, they would be very powerful. Some of the so-called Heaven's Prides would be overshadowed in front of these dragons. Moreover, there was once a genius from the dragon tribe who left the dragon island but was killed by a sect. That sect was also one of the top 10 forces and was ranked 3rd. One could imagine how powerful they were. Although the genius from the dragon tribe was monstrous and powerful, he was only one person after all. How could he fight against an entire sect? That dragons killed countless experts, but in the end they were defeated and died. But the death of that genius enraged the dragon island, and the entire dragons sent out countless experts. In one night, that sect was annihilated. Since then, the dragons or the dragon island became a taboo existence. No one dared to challenge the dignity of the dragon island anymore. Gong Lieni's words made Luli extremely angry. She didn't even put the dragon island in her eyes. Luli was very clear about the strength of the dragon island and the prestige of the dragons. She had lived in this world for so long, and she had never seen anyone who dared to be so rude to the dragons. Yang Hongwu knew that Gong Lieni's confidence came from the so-called Tai-E Divine sect. Without this so-called Tai-E Divine sect, Gong Lieni wouldn't have the guts to do so. Kill. As soon as Gong Lieni gave the order, the disciples of the goddess palace, who were just trapping Yang Hongwu and the others, all exploded with killing intent. He had to admit that the disciples of the goddess palace were much stronger than the disciples of the Sky Sword sect. It could be said that they weren't on the same level. The martialists of the central mainland were much stronger than the martialists of the other mainland. Moreover, Yang Hongwu could faintly sense that there were 2 other experts in the goddess palace. Although these 2 experts had concealed their auras, they could not escape from Yang Hongwu's senses. Break! Yang Hongwu shouted. A ray of light shot out from Yang Hongwu's hand. This ray of light bombarded a point in the northwest. This attack instantly destroyed the formation. What a disgrace. Gong Lieni, what else do you have? Just use it. Don't use this kind of broken formation. You're too weak when it comes to formations. In front of me, you're like a baby who just learned to walk. You can't even withstand a single blow. Yang Hongwu sneered. What a big tone. You're really pissing me off. Little bastard, I'll show you the strength of the goddess palace. Gong Lieni was furious when she heard Yang Hongwu's words. It was a great humiliation for her, the dignified goddess palace, to be looked down upon by a great saint realm brat. Goddess hairpin, please. Yes, palace master. Not good. Young Master Yang, be careful. Master is going to ask for the goddess hairpin. Nangong Sini's expression changed when she heard this. She transmitted her voice to Yang Hongwu. Young Master Yang, the goddess hairpin is a supreme treasure passed down by the founder of the goddess palace. It can unleash an attack of a true god expert. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes when he heard this. If that was the case, it would be troublesome. Erupting with the attack of a true god realm powerhouse, that was absolutely terrifying. Yang Hongwu's cultivation had not reached the great emperor realm. He was still not strong enough to face an attack of a true god expert. If the goddess hairpin was really that terrifying, then he really couldn't let Gong Lianyi use it. Otherwise, he would be the unlucky one. Thinking of this, Yang Hongwu did not hesitate any longer. Destruction Heaven Palace, rise. Yang Hongwu did not hesitate to use the Destruction Heaven Palace and set up a great formation. This formation was naturally a formation that could imprison a martial artist's cultivation and spiritual power. Coupled with the Great Isolation Formation, this was simply flawless. Yang Hongwu was not stupid. If Gong Lianyi spread the news and the people of the Tai Yi Divine Sect knew about it, it would be troublesome. As a sect in the deity domain, the Tai Yi Divine Sect wouldn't be so simple. There would definitely be many experts in the Tai Yi True God realm. Although the possibility of these experts descending on this continent wasn't high, they could still send their clones down and bring along powerful treasures. If there were a few more of them, Yang Hongwu would have a hard time dealing with them. Moreover, he would definitely enter the deity domain in the future. If his identity was exposed, he would probably encounter great trouble once he entered the deity domain. This was something that Yang Hongwu didn't want to see. Therefore, the Great Isolation Formation was once again integrated into this formation. What's going on? My spiritual power, my cultivation, how is this possible? Why is my spiritual power sealed? The people in the formation immediately realized that something was wrong. Gong Lianyi's face turned pale. She could not sense her cultivation, which meant that her spiritual power was also sealed. Now, she remembered the words of Huang Yi and Nangong Sini. Back then, they were able to defeat Lu Shinshin and the other experts of the Common Life Temple with the help of Yang Hongwu and come out unscathed. It was all because of Yang Hongwu's formation. That mysterious formation sealed the opponent's cultivation and spiritual power, which allowed Yang Hongwu to easily kill Lu Shinshin and the others. At first, she did not believe that Yang Hongwu must have used some special poison. She had heard that in the ancient times, there was a mysterious poison that could seal a warrior's spiritual power. However, it was not fatal. Moreover, it was colorless and tasteless. Even those super experts could not sense it. They would only notice it after their cultivation was sealed. However, by that time, it would be too late. However, that poison was extremely rare and precious. It was even rarer than those top-quality true treasures. No one was willing to pay such a high price for it. Therefore, Gong Lianyi believed that Yang Hongwu had used that special poison to kill Lu Shinshin and the others. It was impossible for Yang Hongwu to have too much of that poison. Chapter 14:16. Killing Methods, Little Bastard, What Did You Do? Gong Lianyi was terrified as she looked at Yang Hongwu. You still dare to be arrogant at this time? Yang Hongwu's slap landed on Gong Lianyi's face. In an instant, Gong Lianyi's face was imprinted with a 5-finger mark. Half of her face swelled up like a pig's head. She was originally as beautiful as a flower, but in an instant, she became frighteningly ugly. You deserve to die. Gong Lianyi was trembling with anger. This bastard dared to treat her like this. Hateful, too hateful. Do you know what you're doing? You are going against the Goddess Palace and the Tai Yi Divine Sect. The Tai Yi Divine Sect is a powerful sect in the divine realm. When the time comes, the experts from the divine realm will descend, and you will die without a burial ground. Gong Lianyi shouted. Shut up. Yang Hongwu was getting more and more annoyed. This woman was really crazy beyond saving. If you keep talking, I'll kill you now. Young Master Yang, you. Please spare my master this time. Nangong Sini said. Young Master Yang, can you show mercy? Yellow Clothes nodded. Shut up. Gong Lianyi said angrily. I don't need your hypocrisy. Little bastard, kill me now if you have the guts. Otherwise, when the experts from the Tai Yi Divine Sect descend, you'll only have a dead end. Tai Yi Divine Sect? Yang Hongwu sneered. Do you think I'm afraid? I don't put the Tai Yi Divine Sect in my eyes. Even if they descend on the common people's continent, I can still kill them all. Killing them is as easy as slaughtering dogs. What big words. I hope you can still be so arrogant later. Gong Liani snorted, her tone was disdainful. Yang Hongwu really didn't know what to say to this stubborn guy. If it wasn't for your kindness to Yuji, I'd kill you now. Yang Hongwu coldly snorted. As for the others, they were not so lucky and were directly killed by Yang Hongwu. Gong Liani grimaced and gritted her teeth towards Yang Hongwu. She hated Yang Hongwu to the bone and wanted to swallow him alive. These were the core forces of the goddess temple, but they were all killed by Yang Hongwu. However, she had no other choice. Not only was her cultivation sealed, but her magic power was also restricted. She couldn't even speak. She was completely sealed. He could only glare fiercely at Yang Hongwu. If looks could kill, Yang Hongwu would have died many times over. Seeing Yang Hongwu killing people like this, even Nangong Sini couldn't bear it. Young Master Yang, junior sister Yuji. Nangong Sini looked at Yang Hongwu and Yuji. After all, Yang Hongwu killed the disciples of the goddess temple, and she was also a disciple of the goddess temple. How could Nangong Sini bear to see them killed? Husband, please spare their lives, Yuji said. Yang Hongwu stopped the killing. He still had to give face to Yuji. In fact, he also wanted to avenge Yuji. Of course, more importantly, Gong Liani's attitude and behavior angered Yang Hongwu. In Yang Hongwu's heart, Yuji and Bairan were Yang Hongwu's reverse scale. Dragons have reverse scales, and those who touch them will die. Well, this time I'll spare them. If there's a next time, I won't spare them. Yang Hongwu's eyes burst out a terrible murderous intent, as if the air had frozen. The remaining disciples of the goddess temple were relieved. At least, they didn't have to die. For them, it was the greatest blessing. They didn't expect that Yang Hongwu, a warrior of the great saint realm, who looked like an ordinary scholar, would be so terrible. He didn't hesitate to kill. One should know that they were all great beauties, but this man had the heart to kill them. He really didn't know how to be gentle with women. At this time, Yang Hongwu frowned. There was a strong force outside, which seemed to be attacking the formation. Could it be that the people of the Tai Yi divine sect had come? Thinking of this, Yang Hongwu's eyes narrowed. He was afraid that this was the case. He didn't expect the people of the Tai Yi divine sect to come so quickly. Moreover, they could discover his formation. It seemed that the people who came were not simple. You all wait here. I'm going to deal with something. Yang Hongwu had completely sealed Gong Liani's cultivation. Her dantian was completely sealed. Although he didn't destroy her cultivation, without Yang Hongwu's unique secret technique, it was absolutely impossible for others to break the seal on her body. Yang Hongwu was not an ordinary person. If one wanted to break the seal that he had set, the other party's cultivation would have to break the shackles of the Tai Yi real god and enter the legendary realm. In the Tsongshan continent, it was absolutely impossible for such an expert to appear. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried at all. As for why he had to completely seal Gong Liani, Yang Hongwu was worried that the people of the Tai Yi divine sect would break the formation. After all, the formation that he had set up was difficult to break from the inside. However, it was much easier to break from the outside. What happened? Seeing that Yang Hongwu was so nervous, Bairan asked. It's just a small matter. It's just a few clowns. It's not a big deal. I'll go and deal with it. Yang Hongwu said. Okay. Bairan nodded. Then, you have to be careful. Brother, I'll go with you. Lu Li said. No need. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, You have to stay here and watch over them. Yang Hongwu was still a little worried. After all, the goddess palace wasn't weak. He didn't know what other trump cards they had. Although the possibility of them breaking the formation was very small, Yang Hongwu still didn't dare to take the risk. After all, this was related to the safety of his women. This was absolutely not something that could be done carelessly. Lu Li's strength was the strongest. With her around, Yang Hongwu could rest assured. At least, with Lu Li's strength, even if something happened, she could hold on until he arrived. After saying that, Yang Hongwu disappeared in a flash. At this moment, Gong Lian's eyes flashed with madness. Of course, she knew that Yang Hongwu's performance meant that the reinforcements of the Tai Yi Divine Sect had arrived. The arrival of the experts of the Tai Yi Divine Sect meant that Yang Hongwu's death had arrived. Chapter 14-17. Golden Sun Overlord Body. At this moment, Gong Liani was speechless. Otherwise, she would have burst out laughing. At this moment, Yang Hongwu appeared outside the array formation. Looking at the two people attacking the array formation, he could feel the powerful fluctuations of their auras. Yang Hongwu could feel the aura of the god of fire, Duan Yin, from their bodies. Based on this point, he was certain that these two people should be experts from the deity domain. There was no mistake about it. Although the auras of these two people were powerful, Yang Hongwu was not completely helpless against them. Therefore, when he saw the two of them, he heaved a sigh of relief. As long as the real body did not descend and the power of Tai Yi real God did not descend, Yang Hongwu was not afraid. If the repulsive force of the heavenly way had not been eliminated, Yang Hongwu might have been a little afraid. Now, this world did not have any repulsive force for Yang Hongwu. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not worried at all. He could unleash 100% of his strength, but these two people could not even unleash 1/10 of their strength. In addition, Yang Hongwu was in the dark. A sneak attack was definitely not a problem. If he couldn't even kill these two fellows with a sneak attack, then it would be embarrassing. The strength of these two people should be much weaker than the fire god Duan Yin. Furthermore, the most important thing was that these two fellows had surging negative karma. Clearly, they were not good people. Who knew how many innocent cultivators had died at their hands? Damn it! What kind of array formation is this? If I had known, I would have let Junior Brother Sun come down, said one of the men in a black robe. Junior Brother Lu, don't worry. Although my attainments in the Tao of formations are not as good as Junior Brother Sun's, it is still first class. Although this formation is not bad, it is not difficult to break it. If not for the fact that I want to study this formation, I can completely break it with brute force. Wang Yiming said in a light tone. He was full of confidence. Lu Lin frowned. This time, it was related to whether his Golden Sun Tyrant body could advance to the next level. The Golden Sun Tyrant body was one of the top bodies in the divine domain. It was incomparably strong. However, it was extremely difficult for the Golden Sun Tyrant body to advance to the next level. Every time he wanted to advance to the next level, he would need a woman with a pure Saint body to help him advance. Now, he had reached the first level. If he wanted to break through the shackles, he would need a woman with a pure Saint body as a furnace. His master had spent a lot of effort to find out that there was a woman called Yuji in the goddess palace of the mortal life continent. Senior Brother Wang, I think it's better to break the formation with brute force. I don't want to waste time or make any mistakes. Lu Lin said. There won't be any delays. Moreover, there won't be any mistakes. After all, this is the mortal world. There are no experts here and no one can threaten us. Therefore, Junior Brother Lu, your worries are completely unnecessary. Don't worry. Moreover, I just want to see what the formation is like. This formation is not simple. If I can understand it and integrate it into my formation, my strength will increase by a level. In the Tao of formations, I will definitely surpass Junior Brother Sun and become the top formation master of the Tai Yi Divine Sect. Wang Yiming said. Hearing this, Lu Lin was still a little worried. However, he did not say anything. Of course, he knew what it meant to be the top formation master of the Tai Yi Divine Sect. If he could become the top formation master of the Tai Yi Divine Sect, it was absolutely crucial for Wang Yiming. Once he could become the top formation master of the Tai Yi Divine Sect, his status would rise. Moreover, the resources that he could obtain would also increase by a level. More importantly, Wang Yiming could become the successor of the formation hall. Wang Yiming would not give up this opportunity just because of Lu Lin's words. If Lu Lin insisted on letting Wang Yiming break the formation with brute force, it would be equivalent to ruining Wang Yiming's future. This would make him an enemy of Wang Yiming and completely fall out with him. Although Lu Lin had the Golden Sun Overlord body and his physique was much stronger than Wang Yiming's and his talent was higher, it did not mean that his status was higher than Wang Yiming's. In the Tai Yi Divine sect there were many geniuses. However, there were not many people who had extremely high attainments in the Tao of formations. Wang Yiming and Xin Yuan were the two most outstanding formation masters in the Tai Yi Divine sect. Xin Yuan was ranked first, while Wang Yiming was ranked second. However, because Wang Yiming had entered the Tai Yi Divine sect earlier than Xin Yuan, his cultivation was stronger. Therefore, Wang Yiming and Xin Yuan's status in the Tai Yi Divine sect were actually equal. However, because of Xin Yuan's talent, it was only a matter of time before he surpassed Wang Yiming. If what Wang Yiming had said was true and he could surpass Xin Yuan after comprehending this formation technique and become the #1 formation master in the Tai Yi Divine sect, then no matter how anxious Lu Lin was, he would not dare to force Wang Yiming to break the formation with brute force. On the contrary, he would give Wang Yiming some help so that Wang Yiming would remember this kindness. If that's the case, then senior brother can focus on studying it. Although Lu Lin was extremely unwilling, he did not say anything else. He looked at Wang Yiming with a smile and said, "If senior brother can make a breakthrough and become the #1 formation master in the Tai Yi Divine sect, then senior brother Wang will definitely become the successor of the formation hall. Let me congratulate senior brother Wang first. Haha, of course. After I become the successor of the formation hall, I will definitely not forget junior brother Lu's kindness. At that time, I will fully support junior brother Lu to become the successor of the Tai Yi Divine sect. At that time, junior brother Lu will inherit the Tai Yi Divine sect and I will inherit the formation hall. With us brothers working together, the entire Tai Yi Divine sect will be under our control. No one will be our match." Wang Yiming laughed loudly. He was feeling very good at the moment. At first, he did not want to come to the lower realm. After all, the spiritual qi in the lower realm was not as dense as in the deity domain. Compared to the deity domain, the lower realm was like a barren land without much spiritual qi. If he stayed here for too long, his cultivation might even regress. There was no need to talk about obtaining any benefits in the lower realm. Not only that, but it would also cost a lot to descend to the lower realm. Furthermore, if there was a change in the space when one was teleported to the lower realm, it would be a huge threat and even endanger one's life. Therefore, ordinary people would definitely not descend to the lower realm easily. If there were no special circumstances, no one would be willing to descend to a lower realm from the deity domain. Chapter 14:18. Setting up the formation once again. Yang Hongwu, who was in the dark, found out that this guy wanted to study his formation. This made Yang Hongwu feel surprised. If that guy's words were true, then this guy's attainments in formations were indeed not low. That Xin Yuan's talent in formations should be higher than Wang Yiming's. Yang Hongwu had underestimated the people of the world. However, in this common people's continent, they really didn't have the chance. If they wanted to study his formation, they should see if he agreed or not. A cold light flashed in Yang Hongwu's eyes. These two people, that guy called Junior Brother Lu, seemed to be the one who wanted to take advantage of his great demoness, Yuji. He definitely wouldn't let them have an easy time. Anyone who dared to take advantage of his woman must die. For Yang Hongwu, his woman was his reverse scale. No matter who it was, no matter how strong the other party was, no matter how terrifying the power behind them was, as long as they dared to take action against his woman, Yang Hongwu would not hesitate to fight them to the death. Moreover, they were just a few Tai true God experts. Moreover, they came down to the common people's continent. Here, they couldn't display their strongest strength. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried at all. Of course, they could obviously launch a sneak attack. Yang Hongwu wouldn't be so stupid to directly attack them. Yang Hongwu's thoughts turned and the corner of his mouth hooked up into a smile. Since you want to study formations, then I'll set up a few more formations for you. Moreover, I'll add some good stuff. The current Yang Hongwu wasn't the same as before. A long time ago, Yang Hongwu didn't have much knowledge in formations. He couldn't set up formations at all. As for breaking formations, he completely relied on breaking formations and restriction breaking pills. These two pills were incomparably powerful and successful. However, in terms of setting up formations, they were much worse. But now, Yang Hongwu had already improved his attainments in formations. He was now a supreme formation master. His attainments in formations were absolutely top-notch. Not to mention in the mortal continent, even in the entire divine realm, Yang Hongwu's formations were top-notch. Although this Wang Yiming's strength was not bad and his attainments in array formations were exceptionally high, in front of Yang Hongwu, he was really like a primary school student. They were not on the same level. Yang Hongwu did not approach. Instead, he began to set up the array near the array he had set up. This formation had to be set up silently so that they wouldn't notice it. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. Therefore, this required patience and energy. The two of them were no ordinary cultivators. They were both grand unity true gods. Even though they were only clones from the lower worlds, their fighting prowess was not to be underestimated. There was also a formation master among them. Formation masters were extremely sensitive to the disturbances of formations. Even the slightest disturbance could easily expose them. Therefore, Yang Hongwu had no choice but to proceed with caution. Yang Hongwu took out the array disk. These array disks were specially refined by Yang Hongwu. He had set up seals on them. These seals could conceal the aura. Of course, at the same time, Yang Hongwu also covered them with talismans that could conceal the aura of the formation. This was to prevent the aura of the formation from leaking out. One by one, the array disks were set up. Yang Hongwu took out an item to be the core of the formation. This time, the item that Yang Hongwu took out was the Scroll of Fortune. This item was a supreme treasure. It was much more powerful than the incomplete Dragon Gate. Under normal circumstances, Yang Hongwu would never take out this item to set up a formation. After all, using this item to set up a formation would consume a lot of energy. In addition, he had set up a formation in the isolation array, which consumed a lot of energy. In addition, the formation that was set up with the Scroll of Fortune as the core would consume a shocking amount of energy. However, in order to catch the two of them in one fell swoop, Yang Hongwu chose to use the Scroll of Fortune as the core of the formation. After all, if he used this item as the core of the formation, Yang Hongwu would have full confidence. Time passed quickly. Yang Hongwu had finished setting up the formation. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. He had reached the most crucial step. It would be enough to activate the formation. However, this was also the time when it was most likely to be exposed. Therefore, Yang Hongwu needed an opportunity. An opportunity to conceal the disturbances of the formation. Only then could he activate the formation silently. In this case, he could only make some changes to the isolation array. With a thought, Yang Hongwu entered the isolation array. He took charge of the formation to resist the power of Wang Yiming's divine consciousness. You want to stop me from probing the formation? What a fool's dream. Wang Yiming had already sensed Yang Hongwu's divine consciousness the moment it was exposed. Wang Yiming was extremely confident. In his heart, how could there be anyone stronger than him in this small world of the lower realm? In his opinion, Yang Hongwu was like an ant. He could not withstand a single blow. If he wanted to stop him, It was no different from a mantis trying to stop a chariot. He was overestimating himself. Senior Brother Wang, did you find anything wrong? Lu Lin asked worriedly. Lu Lin was very concerned about the goddess palace. In other words, he was very concerned about the woman with the pure sacred body in the goddess palace. To him, that was the most important thing. After all, he had reached a critical moment. If he did not get the furnace, not only would his physique not be able to break through, his cultivation would not be able to increase. He might even suffer a great loss. The power of the golden sun would cause a great backlash to his body. It would form a huge hidden disease that would make it very difficult for him to increase his cultivation in the future. Therefore, he did not want to see any mistakes. It doesn't matter. It's just a little bug. He actually dares to try and stop me. He's really overestimating himself. The arrangement of this formation should be related to that little bug. I'm going to capture that little bug and obtain all his secret. Wang Yiming's eyes flashed with excitement. In his opinion, it was impossible for Yang Hongwu to arrange such a formation. Even if he could arrange it, he must have used some treasure. No matter what it was, Yang Hongwu might have a high-level secret method of the way of formation. If he could get those things, Wang Yiming's strength would be even more powerful. Therefore, Wang Yiming was very excited. He wanted to catch Yang Hongwu at all costs and get all his secrets, especially the secrets about formations. However, he did not know that all of this had fallen into Yang Hongwu's plan. Chapter 14:19. Each scheming in this 100th of a breath's time, Yang Hongwu had completely activated the formation he had set up. This formation was extremely mysterious. Although it was activated silently, in just 100th of a breath's time, it was terrifyingly powerful. It was thousands of times more powerful than the isolation formation that Yang Hongwu had set up. Yang Hongwu was astonished by the fearsomeness of this formation. To think that this formation would be so powerful. This is beyond my expectations. Yang Hongwu murmured. It was not that he had not used the scroll of fortune as the eye of the formation before. However, the formation that was laid out this time was exceptionally powerful. It was far more powerful than an ordinary formation. Yang Hongwu was even confident that he could kill a Tai true god expert by using this formation. Moreover, no matter how powerful the energy was, it would not attract the attention of the will of heaven. It could be said that Yang Hongwu was the master of this formation. He was the creator. However, the consumption of this formation was too great. Yang Hongwu realized that if he were to use the power of this formation, he could only last for a quarter of an hour. However, in this common people's continent, a quarter of an hour was enough to kill a Tai true god expert. After all, for an expert of that level, not to mention a quarter of an hour, even a breath's time was enough for them to do a lot of things. Senior Brother Wang, I feel that something is wrong. At this moment, Lu Lin had a bad premonition in his heart. He told Wang Yiming. What bad premonition? You're just thinking too much. In this common people's continent, who else can threaten our existence? However, Wang Yiming did not care at all. At this moment, he was excited. He was about to unravel the secret of this formation. Although he had not been able to unravel the formation yet, his understanding of formations had improved a lot. If he were to face Sun Yuan now, he had 70% confidence that he could defeat him. Although the formation in front of him did not have any offensive power, it was very mysterious. The runes of the formation had benefited him a lot. As long as he could integrate these runes into his formation, he would become even more powerful. You'd better not disturb me now. Otherwise, I will not be polite. If you interrupt my opportunity, I will kill you. At this moment, Wang Yiming's strength had increased a lot. Compared to before, it had increased by almost 10%. This speed was too terrifying. Therefore, Wang Yiming would not allow anyone to interrupt his opportunity. Even Lu Lin was the same. Although Lu Lin was a genius a genius that was valued by a supreme elder of the Tai divine sect. A dead genius was nothing. Moreover, once Wang Yiming's Wang Yiming, Lu Lin would not be able to Wang. Therefore, if Lu did not know his place, he would not mind killing him. Therefore, when Lu Lin was nagging, Wang Yiming was already filled with killing intent. After all, no one would want to be disturbed at a crucial moment in their cultivation. Cutting off one's path to wealth was like killing one's parent. However, cutting off one's opportunity to break through was equivalent to exterminating one's entire family. Seeing Wang Yiming's actions, Lu Lin was furious. This bastard dared to treat him like this. He had only said a few words and Wang Yiming was already filled with killing intent. Lu Lin was furious, but he did not show it. After all, he still needed to rely on Wang Yiming. Without Wang Yiming, it would be too difficult for him to break this formation. In fact, he might not even be able to break this formation. Moreover, if he angered Wang Yiming, his life might be in danger. This was something he did not want to face. At this moment, his strength was not as strong as Wang Yiming. Moreover, he still needed Wang Yiming's help. Therefore, he could only compromise in front of Wang Yiming. No matter how Wang Yiming humiliated him, he could not fall out with Wang Yiming before he achieved his goal. Senior brother Wang, you misunderstand. How could I possibly make things difficult for senior brother? I am just worried. There is something strange about this place. I feel as though I can't even breathe properly. There really is something wrong here, Lu Lin said. Wang Yiming took a deep breath. Although he was extremely dissatisfied with Lu Lin, he still did not take action against Lu Lin. After all, Lu Lin was not weak. Moreover, he had come to the lower domain, so he must have a trump card. That old antique valued him so much, so it was impossible that he did not leave him with a trump card. Wang Yiming was very clear about this point. He was also a little jealous. Although he was said to be an outstanding array master in the Tai divine sect, because his talent was inferior to Xin Yuan, the resources he received were far less than Xin Yuan and Lu Lin. After all, in the Tai divine sect, the resources that the most outstanding disciples received were much more than the other disciples. The difference between the first and second place was like heaven and earth. Such a difference was too great. Wang Yiming's talent in the Array Dao was ranked second. Therefore, most of the resources of the Array Hall of the Tai sacred sect had been given to Xin Yuan. The resources given to Wang Yiming weren't even half as much as Xin Yuan. And this time, it was his opportunity. It could be said that this was the best opportunity for him to make a comeback. If he missed it, he would not have such a good opportunity in the future. Therefore, no matter what happened, he would not give up. He would not give up because of anything or any threat. Of course, he still had to take Lu Lin into consideration. After all, Lu Lin had the backing of an almighty. Before he fully matured, he was not qualified to talk to those old antiques. Therefore, he would not take action against Lu Lin before he was fully confident. Junior Lu, I was too impulsive just now. You know that I'm at a critical moment right now. Because I've been studying this formation, my cultivation has increased a lot compared to when I was in the lower world. My battle prowess has increased by more than 10% compared to before. If I can completely comprehend the mysteries of this formation, I think my strength should increase by more than 50%. Wang Yiming said. It is because of this that I was too impulsive and said those words to junior brother. Chapter 1420. Self-awareness. Junior brother Lu, don't worry. I will be able to study this formation very soon. I will need at most half an hour to fully understand the secrets of this formation. Wang Yiming said. At that time, I will be able to control this formation and enter the goddess palace. Junior brother, you will be able to obtain what you want. Just as he finished speaking, the entire formation suddenly changed. This sudden change made Wang Yiming dumbfounded. What's going on? Wang Yiming's expression changed. Damn it, it can even change the formation. The change in the array formation was beyond his expectations. He originally thought that he had thoroughly studied the array formation, but he did not expect that the array formation would change. Moreover, the change was extremely strange. At this moment, his expression became serious. He knew that the person who set up this formation was not simple. However, it seemed that it was too late now. This formation was unpredictable, and he had greatly underestimated the strength of the person who set up this formation. This was definitely not a good thing for any formation master. In a battle between experts, if there was a slight negligence, it could be fatal. It was the same for a battle between array masters. Although the battle between array masters was not as powerful as the battle between martial arts experts, the battle between array masters seemed peaceful but was actually very dangerous. Only those who were in the array would know how terrifying the battle between array masters was. The danger in it could not be described with words. What's wrong? Senior Brother Wang, is there a problem? Lu Lin naturally saw the change in Wang Yiming. He was also a little worried. If something really happened, then the trouble would not be small. He could not accept any accident. If something happened to his cauldron, then it was absolutely intolerable. One must know that it was something that he cared about the most. It was related to his future. Your previous premonition seems to have come true. We are in trouble. Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. To be able to make him fall into the trap of a formation without making a sound, the other party's strength was definitely not to be underestimated. At the very least, the other party's attainments in formations were definitely not inferior to his. Furthermore, the other party's knowledge of formations should be much stronger than his. This was what he was most worried about. Senior Brother Wang, you're joking, right? When Lu Lin heard this, he felt a little nervous. He really didn't want to see Wang Yiming's words happen. He was at the most critical moment. Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. He looked at Lu Lin and said, "No, I'm not joking. We're really in danger." Although Wang Yiming was very arrogant, he was not arrogant. Otherwise, he would not have grown to such a level. He was very careful. Previously, when he said those threatening words to Lu Lin, it was because he wanted to succeed and break through too much. We've fallen into a trap from the beginning. This mysterious formation is actually just a bait. If I'm not wrong, we should have fallen into an incomparably powerful formation. I actually didn't see any clues about this formation. Although Wang Yiming was unwilling to admit it, it was a fact. The other party's attainments in formations were much stronger than his. Moreover, the person who set up the formation had already reached the peak of understanding the human heart. This person was definitely an old antique. An old antique who had cultivated for God knows how many years. Otherwise, it was absolutely impossible for him to understand the human heart to reach such a level. Yang Hongwu naturally heard the conversation between the two. He did not expect Wang Yiming to be so sensitive. At this time, he had already discovered some clues. It was really unexpected. At the beginning, Yang Hongwu thought that Wang Yiming was an extremely arrogant person who would not put the people of the Zhongshan continent in his eyes. He thought that he was an invincible existence in this world. However, he actually knew that he was already at a disadvantage and had fallen into a huge formation. This person was not simple. If he had not met Yang Hongwu, his achievements would definitely be terrifying in a few days. Although it seemed that his aptitude and battle physique were weaker than Lu Lin's, in fact, Wang Yiming's battle physique was slightly weaker than Lu Lin's. In other aspects, he was much stronger than Lu Lin. However, he was going to die here in the end. Who asked him to meet Yang Hongwu? Moreover, he was Yang Hongwu's enemy. If they had not coveted Yang Hongwu's woman, Yang Hongwu might have spared him this time. However, he should not have made the wrong decision. What should we do now? Seeing that Wang Yiming did not seem to be joking, Lu Lin was completely nervous. Now, let's see what the other party wants to do. If the other party is very strong and does not want to let us go, then we can only fight to the death. If the other party is slightly weaker, then we still have a great chance. A cold light flashed in Wang Yiming's eyes. The other party is definitely not an ordinary person. He should be an old antique. I don't know why, but we have angered him. Therefore, he set up such a powerful formation to deal with us. Could it be that he is from the Common Life Divine Palace? Lu Lin thought for a while and said, the Common Life Divine Palace and the Tai Yi Divine Sect were rivals. Moreover, the Common Life Divine Palace had always been in control of the Common Life Divine Palace. Now that they had entered the Common Life Divine Palace, it was tantamount to provoking the Common Life Divine Palace. After all, such a world could be used as a foundation to obtain many geniuses. The talent and growth potential of these geniuses, who had ascended from the lower world, were definitely more outstanding than the native geniuses who had grown up in the deity domain. After all, they had grown up in the lower world where the spiritual qi was thin. Moreover, they were the top figures in the lower world. Their growth potential was much greater than the native geniuses of the deity domain, and their willpower was also much stronger. Of course, in terms of physique and talent, the geniuses of the lower world could not be compared to the geniuses of the deity domain. After all, the geniuses of the deity domain were nourished by the spiritual qi of heaven and earth. The spiritual qi of heaven and earth in the deity domain was much higher than the spiritual qi of the lower world. They were not on the same level. It could be said that in the deity domain, half of the top experts had ascended from the lower world. Therefore, the control of a low-level world was very important to any sect. They would never allow other sects to get their hands on it. The Common Life Divine Palace controlled the Common Life Divine Palace. Chapter 1421. Divine Talisman, it's highly possible. Wang Yiming's face was solemn. He didn't think that there would be such a powerful person in the lower realm. After all, this was the common people's continent, a lower realm. The spiritual qi here was thin. Although there were geniuses, it was impossible for them to grow to the point where they could threaten him. One should know that the two of them were definitely Tai True God Realm experts. Although there were formation geniuses in the common people's continent, it was impossible for such a powerful formation to appear. The mysteriousness of this formation surpassed any formation he had seen before. Moreover, in the historical records, there wasn't a genius in the lower realm who had comprehended such a mysterious and powerful formation. Only the realm of the gods or a plane that surpassed the realm of the gods could produce such an array formation. Therefore, the two of them didn't think that the person who created this formation was a native expert of the common people's continent. Someone is plotting against us, Lu Lin said coldly. I'm afraid there's a traitor in the Tai Divine Sect who leaked our information to the people of the common people's divine palace. Could it be junior brother Ting Song? Wang Yiming's face sank. Ting Song was the #1 genius of the martial hall. He was extremely talented. However, if Lu Lin obtained the cauldron, the Golden Sun Overlord body would be activated. At that time, Lu Lin's talent would surpass Ting Song, and he would become the #1 genius of the martial hall. He would also become the successor of the martial hall, the young palace master. Therefore, if Lu Lin had an accident, the person who would benefit the most would undoubtedly be Ting Song. Of course, it wasn't impossible for Sun Yuan to be the culprit. Although Sun Yuan was the #1 genius of the Formation Hall, the successor of the Formation Hall hadn't been confirmed yet. This had a lot to do with Wang Yiming. Therefore, it was also possible for Sun Yuan to be the culprit. The two of them were the most suspicious. Of course, it couldn't be ruled out that the two of them had joined hands. However, the news of the two of them coming to the common people's continent wasn't leaked. Other than that person, no one else knew about it. The two of them announced that they were in seclusion. As for that person, it was unlikely that he would leak the news of the two of them. It's possible. Lu Lin's eyes flashed coldly. If it's really Ting Song, I'll kill him when I return to the sect. Lu Lin was definitely not a soft-hearted person. The number of people who died in his hands was definitely no less than 5-digit. It could also be Sin Yuan, Wang Yiming added. Impossible. Lu Lin shook his head and said, Senior brother Sin Yuan is the disciple of one of my uncles. He wouldn't do that. When Wang Yiming heard this, he sneered and said, Junior brother Lu, you're too naive. In order to obtain better resources, what wouldn't Sin Yuan do? There are many things that you probably don't know about. Back then, the bloody gloomy stream incident was related to him. What? Lu Lin's expression changed when he heard that. The incident at the bloody stream had shaken the entire Tai Divine sect. The main character of that incident was his clan brother, Lu Mang. Lu Mang was a genius with great strength and amazing talent. It was said that he had the chance to break through the shackles and become a divine lord. However, he was schemed against at the bloody gloomy stream and died tragically there. Moreover, the murderer of his clan brother, Lu Mang, did not leave behind a single trace. At that time, the upper echelons of the Tai Divine sect were furious, but they still couldn't find the murderer. How could Lu Lin not be shocked when he heard Wang Yiming's words? Senior brother Wang, this matter is not a joke. Although Lu Lin was shocked, he wouldn't believe Wang Yiming's one-sided words. It's up to you to believe it or not. Wang Yiming said. Let's not talk about this first. The most important thing now is how we can break the formation and enter the goddess palace. Lu Lin said. As for the bloody gloomy stream incident, he didn't care whether it was Sin Yuan's doing. For him, the most important thing now was to obtain Yuji, his furnace, and then leave this place. This was the problem he was most concerned about. As for the other matters, they were all put aside. Even if the sky fell, they would be thrown aside. You're right. The problem now is that we haven't seen the enemy. Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. The other party is too mysterious. Is there no other way? Lu Lin asked. Can we force the other party out? It's not that there is no other way. However, I'm afraid that we will need Junior Brother Lu to go all out. I think Junior Brother Lu should have a trump card. As long as Junior Brother Lu is willing to part with that thing, you will definitely be able to lure the other party out. Wang Yiming said. What thing? Lu Lin naturally had a lot of trump cards. His master had left him a lot of good things to protect his life. Therefore, even if he knew that the Common People's continent was controlled by the Common People's divine palace, he still dared to enter this place because he had a lot of trump cards to protect his life. As for Wang Yiming, it was different. Wang Yiming wasn't like Lu Lin, who had such a good backer. His resources and trump cards were all obtained by himself. The trump cards that he had obtained were obtained after a lot of hard work. Moreover, he knew very well that even if he took out those trump cards, they might not be able to get rid of this mysterious formation. As a formation master, he could feel the terrifying mental strength of the other party. The strength of the other party's divine sense was far from being his opponent. Although the other party only revealed a trace of his divine sense, he knew very well how overbearing this trace of divine sense was. It actually contained the supreme power of the lightning tribulation. That was the power of the great Tao lightning tribulation. In fact, what he didn't know was that Yang Hongwu wasn't that powerful. He was much weaker than he imagined. Divine Spirit Breaking Talisman, Wang Yiming said. Hearing this, Lu Lin's complexion changed. The Soul Breaker Divine Talisman was not an ordinary talisman. It was a talisman that specialized in attacking the soul. Its might was limitless, and even if he encountered a half-step Divine Lord, it would still have the strength to strike back. Such a talisman was an extremely precious treasure, so if there wasn't a life-threatening crisis, he wouldn't be willing to use it. Is it necessary? Lu Lin said. This talisman is extremely powerful. If it explodes, it's likely that this entire world might collapse. At that time, it'll definitely infuriate the Common Life Divine Hall. If that happens, we'll become turtles in a jar. Chapter 1422. Attack. However, if we don't use this talisman, I'm afraid we'll die. I can already smell the scent of death. The opponent is too strong, Wang Yiming said. If it really comes to that, I'll use the Divine Destruction Talisman. Lu Lin took a deep breath. He didn't completely believe Wang Yiming's words. Junior Lu, could it be that you still think that I'm lying to you at this point? Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. He could already feel the terrifying aura of death. The reason why he was able to achieve such a high level of attainment in array formation wasn't because of his innate talent. It was because he had a special ability. This ability allowed him to avert danger many times. This time, he felt the greatest threat of death. It was the most terrifying crisis he had ever encountered. Even all the previous crises added together wouldn't be as terrifying as this one. If that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have to talk to Lu Lin like this. Although Lu Lin had a powerful backer, in fact, Wang Yiming looked down on those so-called geniuses who relied on their backers to advance. He relied on his own efforts to grow up step by step. His achievements today were inseparable from his own effort. As for Lu Lin, he only had a special physique. In addition, he grew up in a good environment, which allowed him to possess such strength at such a young age. If they were placed in an extreme environment, such as the Twilight battlefield, the one who would survive would definitely be him, not Lu Lin. Wang Yiming was very confident about this. However, he didn't know if he would have the chance to enter the Twilight battlefield. Yang Hongwu was shocked by Wang Yiming's perception. He didn't expect Wang Yiming's perception to be so strong. Wang Yiming was aware of his existence, and also sensed that he was going to kill them. This made Yang Hongwu interested in Wang Yiming. If he knew what was good for him, perhaps he could spare his life. Of course, Lu Lin had to die no matter what. Lu Lin's Golden Sun Overlord body bloodline seemed to be of some help to him. Yang Hongwu faintly felt that if he devoured Lu Lin's Golden Sun Overlord body bloodline, his cultivation could increase by a level and enter the half-step Great Emperor realm. Come out. Wang Yiming looked at Yang Hongwu's position and said solemnly. Seeing Wang Yiming's expression, Lu Lin was extremely nervous. He wanted to see who it was. Clap clap clap. Clap 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 clap. Yang Hongwu appeared in front of the two of them. Looking at Wang Yiming and Lu Lin, he said, Good, I'm really surprised. I didn't think that your perception would be so powerful to be able to discover my presence. I have to admit that you're the first one. Yang Hongwu's art of concealment was very powerful, and he was extremely confident about it. Even if an expert at the peak of Tai True God realm appeared, he wouldn't be able to find his location. However, he had never expected Wang Yiming to be able to sense his location so easily. Wang Yiming was truly extraordinary. No, my perception isn't that strong. It's just that your killing intent is too obvious. I can feel the qi of death from your body. It's this qi of death that has exposed your location. If you weren't strong enough to kill me, I wouldn't have been able to sense your existence. Wang Yiming didn't hide anything. After seeing Yang Hongwu, the fear in his heart grew even stronger. On the other hand, Lu Lin breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu's cultivation base was only at the Great Sage realm. He was not even at the Great Emperor realm. Lu Lin did not think that a mere Great Sage realm martialist could kill him. You're the one behind this? Who set up this array formation? If you tell me, I can spare your life. Lu Lin looked at Yang Hongwu and said. When Yang Hongwu heard this, his eyes narrowed. This guy was really arrogant. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. It was as if he was an ant in front of him that he could crush at will. Junior brother Lu, be careful with your words. Wang Yiming's expression changed and said to Lu Lin. Senior brother Wang, you're being too careful. This kid is only at the Great Sage realm. How could he set up such a powerful array formation? The person who set up the array formation is definitely not him. It's the person behind him. Now, there's no strong chi here. Therefore, the person who set up the array formation shouldn't be here. He just left the array formation to him. So, Senior Brother Wang, you don't have to worry at all. As long as we capture this kid, there's a way. Lu Lin stretched out his hand to grab Yang Hongwu. In his heart, if Yang Hongwu had been hiding in the dark, he wouldn't be able to do anything. However, Yang Hongwu was too arrogant. He actually left the array formation and appeared in front of him. If he still couldn't catch him like this, then he would be too weak. It was too shameful. If a Tai True God Realm expert couldn't catch a mere Great Sage Realm martialist, then he should just kill himself. However, the idea was good, but the reality was too cruel. Wang Yiming, on the other hand, knew that things were going bad. He saw Lu Lin actually overestimating himself and trying to grab Yang Hongwu. This was simply an act of suicide. Although the young man in front of him seemed to only be at the Great Sage Realm, Wang Yiming really felt the aura of death from him. That kind of fear of death was undoubtedly emitted from him. This also meant that Yang Hongwu definitely had the strength to kill him. As long as he wanted to, he could easily kill Wang Yiming. Although Wang Yiming's physique and trump cards were not as good as Lu Lin's, in terms of escaping, Wang Yiming knew that he was much better than Lu Lin. He was a person who grew up on the edge of life and death, unlike Lu Lin who grew up with the support of the expert behind him. It could be said that he was like a flower in a greenhouse and had no ability to resist attack. Now that Wang Yiming saw Lu Lin making a move, he could no longer stop him. Therefore, at this time, what he hoped to see was that Yang Hongwu would not implicate him. After all, he didn't want to die yet. Yang Hongwu watched Lu Lin launch an attack on him. Yang Hongwu's eyes were not panicked at all. He didn't even move. Instead, Wang Yiming's performance surprised him. Bang! At the moment when Lu Lin's hand was about to grab Yang Hongwu, a powerful force condensed from the surroundings. It instantly shattered Lu Lin's spiritual power and sent him flying. Chapter 1423. Golden Sun Battle Technique. Kid, I admit that you have some strength to be able to block my attack. However, if you think that you can disregard me and block my attack just because you have some strength, then you're too naive. Lu Lin was still unaware of Yang Hongwu's strength. He thought that he could defeat Yang Hongwu, but little did he know that he was already at death's door. A ray of light appeared in Lu Lin's hand. This ray of light burst out and enveloped his entire body. This was a powerful secret technique. The golden light released a majestic fiery sun energy. This was the power of Lu Lin's golden sun tyrannical body. The secret technique that he used was a powerful combat technique that he had comprehended by combining it with the golden sun tyrannical body. This was the secret technique that Lu Lin had created after obtaining the Zhan clan's combat technique. It was the most suitable secret technique for his golden sun tyrannical body. Therefore, he named it the Golden Sun Battle Technique. When this combat technique was used, it was extremely domineering. A layer of golden armor condensed on his body. This was his battle armor. This was the first time that he had used the Golden Sun Battle Technique. In his mind, this was his most powerful attack. Brat, it's your greatest honor to be able to die under my Golden Sun Battle Technique. Lu Lin squinted his eyes. Golden light burst out from his body like a miniature sun. The energy that it contained was extremely domineering and powerful. Yang Hongwu's face was filled with disdain. This kid is too arrogant. The fiery sun energy TSK. Although it's not bad, it's nothing compared to my 9 Dragon Saint body. This combat body of his was only comparable to his 9 Suns Saint body. Now that he had activated a part of his 9 Dragon Saint body, the power that erupted was definitely not something that Lu Lin could withstand. Using the power of the blazing sun to deal with Yang Hongwu was simply like showing off in front of an expert. He was overestimating himself. Furthermore, the secret technique that he had created was not complete. If it were someone else, they might really be intimidated by him. However, This was impossible in front of Yang Hongwu. Although Yang Hongwu's cultivation realm had not broken through to the Great Emperor realm, his original cultivation realm was at the peak of the invincible Great Emperor realm. He was only a step away from becoming a primordial true god. Moreover, even if he had not broken through to the primordial true god realm, his fighting power at that time had already surpassed an ordinary primordial true god realm expert. Moreover, he had also experienced the powerful lightning tribulation of the Great Path. That was the most terrifying test he had ever experienced. How could a mere Golden Sun battle technique compare to the lightning tribulation of the Great Path? They were not on the same level at all. Die! Lu Lin roared and threw out a punch. This punch was so powerful that it seemed like it could pierce through the void. It contained the terrifying power of the sun and was extremely overbearing. However, Yang Hongwu did not move. He allowed Lu Lin's fist to hit his body. When the fist hit Yang Hongwu's body, Yang Hongwu did not even sway. His devouring furnace burst out and turned into a huge whirlpool, devouring all the power. Impossible! How can my Golden Sun battle technique not have any effect on you? Lu Lin shouted when he saw this scene. He could not believe what he was seeing. He had gone crazy. Like a madman, he launched attacks in a frenzy. He channeled the majestic power of the Golden Sun in his body and bombarded Yang Hongwu again and again. It was a crazy attack. When these attacks hit Yang Hongwu's body, they did not cause any harm to Yang Hongwu. Instead, they brought energy to Yang Hongwu, increasing his cultivation realm. Wang Yiming was shocked when he saw this. Although he sensed the aura of death, he did not expect Yang Hongwu to be so powerful. He had never seen Lu Lin's Golden Sun technique before, but he knew that he wouldn't be able to block these attacks if they were to land on him. He was too powerful. He stood still and allowed Lu Lin to attack him. How terrifying was his strength! How strong was his physical body! It was simply heaven-defying. Even those experts who had surpassed the true God realm and those Sir God realm experts would not be able to do it. They would definitely not allow Lu Lin to attack like this and be unharmed. Lu Lin's attacks seemed to be tickling Yang Hongwu. It was terrifying. It was too terrifying. Now, he was regretting it to the extreme. He regretted coming down to the lower world. If he knew this would happen, he would rather be punished and imprisoned than come down to help Lu Lin. However, it was too late now. He hoped that Yang Hongwu would not kill him after killing Lu Lin. He was willing to become Yang Hongwu's subordinate and submit to him. In order to survive, he would even be willing to be Yang Hongwu's slave. In fact, to Wang Yiming, staying alive was the most important thing. Moreover, if he could become a subordinate of a peerless expert, it wouldn't be shameful at all. On the contrary, if he could become a loyal servant of a peerless expert, he would be respected and envied by others when he went out. For example, the servants of divine monarch powerhouses were only servants in front of the divine monarch powerhouse. In the outside world, everyone had to respect them and treat them as guests of honor. No one dared to be disrespectful to them. After all, being disrespectful to them was the same as being disrespectful to the divine monarch powerhouse. No one dared to do that. Divine monarch powerhouses were simply too powerful. No one dared to be disrespectful to them unless they were courting death. "Are you tickling me?" Yang Hongwu sneered. "Damn it. I must kill you. I don't believe that you, a mere great sage realm expert, can block my attack. This must be an illusion. Yes, this must be an illusion. You must have used some kind of demonic technique to confuse my eyes. I won't give up. I must kill you. You must die. You must die." Lu Lin had lost his mind at this time. He was crazily consuming the Golden Sun force in his body. He even showed signs of burning his qi and blood. Seeing this scene, Wang Yiming sighed. This guy was crazy. In fact, he had a chance. If he still had his mind, he could use his trump card, such as the Divine Destruction Talisman. The talisman's power was infinite. Even if there was no way to kill Yang Hongwu, it could definitely seriously injure him. However, Wang Yiming did not do so. He had a hunch that even if Lu Lin used the powerful divine destruction talisman, he might not be able to escape from here. Therefore, if he said anything, he would be courting death. He did not want to completely enrage Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1424. Devouring Demon Kinjin Fact. What Wang Yiming didn't know was that the two of them were already in Yang Hongwu's array. Even if Wang Yiming wanted to use the divine destruction talisman, he wouldn't have the chance. Yang Hongwu wouldn't allow him to activate such a powerful talisman. Yang Hongwu wasn't so stupid as to give others a chance. Come here, devouring furnace, devour the heavens and earth. Yang Hongwu shouted. A huge furnace appeared above his head. This furnace was simple and mysterious, but it was filled with supreme divine might. It made people revere it. This furnace seemed to be an ancient furnace that came from the supreme creation. It could devour everything. Nothing could escape the devouring power of this furnace. Lu Lin's body couldn't resist at all. He was pulled over by this huge furnace. Wang Yiming, who was far away, saw this scene and was shocked. What kind of treasure was this? It was actually so powerful and terrifying. He had never seen such a tyrannical treasure. It could actually devour and refine the power of a cultivator. This was too terrifying. Could it be the legendary supreme demon, the devouring demon king? The devouring demon king was a terrifying demon from ancient times in the deity domain. It could devour the heavens and earth. It was said that it could devour anything. It could even devour supreme true treasures. Nothing could stop it. It was said that the terrifying void-devouring devil in the void was the pet of the devouring demon king. It was enough to show how terrifying the devouring demon king was. The devouring demon king controlled the devouring demon region. It was a vast world where demons and demons roamed freely. There were countless experts. In the past, the deity domain had almost fallen into the hands of the devouring demon king. If it wasn't for a few powerful divine monarchs who paid the price with their lives, the deity domain would have long ceased to exist. Facing Yang Hongwu's terrifying devouring furnace, Lu Lin couldn't resist at all. At this moment, he realized how terrifying Yang Hongwu was. His opponent was too terrifying, too powerful. He wasn't an existence that he could resist. Damn it, how can he be so strong? At this time, he had already recovered. He knew that he had no way to resist Yang Hongwu. So, he thought of his life-saving trump cards. The first thing he wanted to do was to take out the powerful divine spirit-breaking talisman. With a thought, a talisman appeared in his hand. He gathered his magic power and was about to detonate the divine soul-shattering talisman to bombard Yang Hongwu's soul. The moment the soul-breaking talisman appeared, Yang Hongwu sensed that this talisman contained a vast amount of energy, enough to destroy a small world. How could Yang Hongwu not have sensed such a powerful energy? At this moment, Yang Hongwu discovered this huge threat. How could Yang Hongwu let him activate the spirit-breaking talisman? With a single thought, a surge of energy locked down the space around Lu Lin. Within this formation, Yang Hongwu was the master, the paragon, and everything was under his control. Lu Lin's movements were instantly sealed. At this time, Lu Lin was horrified to find that he couldn't move at all. The talisman was also separated. Although the talisman was still in his hand, he couldn't channel his magic power into the talisman to activate the power of the talisman. At this time, a hand appeared in the void. This hand, with a wave, burst out of force and grabbed the soul-breaking talisman. No! Lu Lin was terrified and shouted loudly. This was his life-saving trump card. If this talisman was taken away, would he still have any hope? The answer was obvious. However, no matter how much he shouted, it was all in vain. The talisman still flew towards Yang Hongwu. He could only watch helplessly as the talisman, the trump card that could save his life, flew away from him. Senior Brother Wang, quick, quick, we have to stop him. Lu Lin thought of Wang Yiming at this most critical moment. At this time, only Wang Yiming could help him. At first, he didn't believe Wang Yiming and was unwilling to activate the soul-breaking talisman. However, he regretted it now. If he had believed Wang Yiming at that time, he wouldn't have ended up in this situation. However, it was too late to regret now. Just as Wang Yiming said, the opponent was too powerful and too terrifying. If he had activated the soul-breaking talisman at the beginning, he might have had a chance to survive. However, now, the possibility of survival was very slim. It was almost impossible. Under such circumstances, he knew that he had no other way. His only hope was Wang Yiming. Wang Yiming was also a powerful formation master. Moreover, his strength was extraordinary. Although he looked down on Wang Yiming, he had to admit that Wang Yiming's strength was actually very powerful. To be able to grow from a commoner to such a level, Wang Yiming must have experienced many life and death situations. Therefore, in the face of a life and death crisis, Wang Yiming was definitely stronger than him. If Wang Yiming couldn't do anything, then they could only wait for death. This was because he found that he couldn't send a message out even if he wanted to. The communication talisman didn't have any effect. How could he not be anxious? He didn't want to die. He was the most outstanding genius of the Lu clan, the most outstanding genius of the Tai Yi Divine Sect and the Tai Wu Hall. He was going to grow into a peerless expert in the future. He didn't want to die at all. He still had a lot of time that he hadn't really enjoyed yet. He hadn't even touched a woman yet. If he died here, it would be too sullen. Lu Lin's words made Wang Yiming feel bitter. Now that he thought of him, wasn't he looking for trouble? Wang Yiming didn't have the slightest confidence. At this time, Lu Lin brought him up and dragged him down. Wang Yiming didn't answer, as if he didn't hear anything. Wang Yiming's reaction surprised Yang Hongwu. However, who was Yang Hongwu? How could he not know what Wang Yiming was thinking at this time? This guy was too smart. He was indeed a talent. Since he wasn't going to do anything, Lu Lin would give him a chance to live if he was willing to become his slave. As for subordinates, Yang Hongwu didn't need them. He only needed slaves. After all, Yang Hongwu had been betrayed more than once. Therefore, Yang Hongwu didn't need unloyal subordinate. What he needed were absolutely loyal slaves. Lu Lin shouted loudly, but Wang Yiming didn't seem to hear him. This made Lu Lin feel incomparable despair. Could it be that his voice and consciousness were also sealed? There was no way to send a message to Wang Yiming? However, he saw a trace of movement from Wang Yiming. This meant that Wang Yiming definitely heard his message. Could it be? Lu Lin suddenly thought of something. Chapter 1425. Desperate counterattack. Thinking of this, he despaired. Wang Yiming had given up on him. But soon Lu Lin's eyes were filled with viciousness. If you give up on me and I die, then you won't have an easy time either. Lu Lin gritted his teeth and said, Senior, I was ignorant. I failed to recognize the value of gold and jade. It is my fault for offending you today. Even if you kill me, I will have no regrets. However, if Wang Yiming, this despicable person, doesn't die, I will not be satisfied. If Senior is willing to kill him before I die, I am willing to give all my treasures to Senior. Hearing this, Wang Yiming was terrified. Lu Lin, this bastard. Even if he dies, he still wants to drag me down with him. How hateful. Senior, don't listen to his nonsense. I have never thought of harming you or the Goddess Palace. This time, I came down from the deity domain because of Lu Lin. Lu Lin has taken a fancy to a disciple of the Goddess Palace and wants to take her as a furnace to improve his golden sun overlord body. Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. My strength is weak and my status in the Tai Yi Divine Sect is very low. Lu Lin is from the Lu family of the deity domain. The Lu family is the upper echelon of the Tai Yi Divine Sect. They are very powerful. I am just a cultivator who grew up as a rogue cultivator. How can I have the right to refuse the Lu family? Therefore, this time, I had no choice but to come down to this world with Lu Lin to work for him. Hearing Wang Yiming's words, Lu Lin was so angry that he trembled. Sure enough, Wang Yiming could hear him. He had completely betrayed him. At this time, he still dared to sow discord. Wang Yiming, do you think Senior will believe you? I know that I have offended Senior. Anyway, only death awaits me. However, do you think you can deceive Senior? Who is Senior? How can he be swayed by your words? Lu Lin laughed loudly. Senior, as long as you kill Wang Yiming, all my treasures will be yours. Although I, Lu Lin, am not a peerless expert, I still have a lot of treasures on me. As Wang Yiming said, I am a member of the Lu family of the God domain. Although my Lu family is not a top family in the God domain, we still have a certain amount of influence. I am the young lord of the Lu family. As long as Senior kills this traitor Wang Yiming, I will give you all my treasures with both hands. Moreover, I will also give you a powerful battle technique. My Lu family obtained this battle technique from an ancient land. It is a powerful battle technique of the ancient battle clan. Although it is incomplete, if you can comprehend it, you will be able to erupt with unparalleled power. Yang Hongwu's expression didn't change. Yang Hongwu wasn't surprised by the two's quarrel. However, Yang Hongwu was curious about the battle technique and true divine skill that Lu Lin was talking about. He hadn't obtained the secret skill of the Tai True God realm, and he hadn't reached that level. Hence, he didn't know anything about the secret skills of the Tai True God realm, and even the Tai True God realm. However, Yang Hongwu guessed that the battle technique and true divine skill that Lu Lin was talking about should be the secret skill of the Tai True God realm, or the secret skill of cultivation. Yang Hongwu was deep in thought. He had to admit that these things were attractive to Yang Hongwu. Wang Yiming's expression changed. The secret skill of the ancient war clan was very attractive to some old people. If the other party was really tempted, he would really kill him. Wang Yiming didn't want to die. Senior, don't listen to his nonsense. Although he is one of the successors of the Lu family, he is not the only successor of the Lu family. Moreover, the battle technique of the ancient war clan is very precious. How could he bring it out? Wang Yiming said loudly. Senior, if you don't believe me, you can take a look at my right hand. Lu Lin said, there is a battle rune on my right hand. The battle rune is a unique feature of the secret skill of the ancient war clan. This battle rune is a battle rune that I condensed by combining my understanding of the ancient war clan's battle technique with my Golden Sun Overlord body. I believe that it will be of great help to you. At your level, you can tell that this battle rune is related to the secret skill of the ancient war clan. Although I didn't obtain all of the secret skill of the ancient war clan that the Lu family obtained, I still have a part of it. Even this part of the secret skill is extremely precious. I believe that it is enough to exchange for Wang Yiming's life. After all, Wang Yiming isn't related to you, and he is your enemy. It is definitely worth it to exchange an insignificant person for a supreme battle technique. Wang Yiming's heart sank when he heard what Lu Lin said. The secret skill of the ancient war clan was too precious. Lu Lin was right. He wasn't related to the senior at all. He was an insignificant person. Moreover, for those experts, even if they were related or had a son, it might not be more precious than a supreme battle technique. For them, they could have a son. At that level, which expert didn't have a large number of wives and concubines and many children? In order to obtain these powerful battle techniques, they could even give up their blood relatives, let alone an insignificant stranger. Let me take a look. Just as Yang Hongwu was about to take a look, Lu Lin made his move. With a roar, his right hand emitted an intense light. A powerful spiritual power burst out and rushed towards Yang Hongwu. At the same time, the divine destruction talisman that was taken away by Yang Hongwu showed signs of being activated. A vast power burst out at this moment. It was as if heaven and earth were about to be destroyed by this terrifying power. Scheming and sneak attack. Lu Lin's previous performance was all for this moment. It was all to sneak an attack on Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He didn't expect Lu Lin to have hidden his strength so deeply. Even Wang Yiming was shocked. Lu Lin had hidden his strength too deeply. His shrewdness was terrifying. Wang Yiming had underestimated him from afar. This person was too terrifying. If he didn't die, he would definitely become an overlord and control the Tai Divine sect. His scheming, everything had been displayed incisively and vividly in just a few breaths' time. Even those old foxes couldn't compare to him. To have such shrewdness at his age, there were only a few people in the entire divine domain that could compare to him. Wang Yiming smiled bitterly. He didn't expect Lu Lin to be able to make a comeback in such a desperate situation. He had underestimated Lu Lin too much. Chapter 1426. Kill. Naive. Yang Hongwu sneered. How could it be so easy to scheme against him in his own formation? This formation was his limit. If he was still schemed against and injured in such a situation, wouldn't it be too shameful? How could the formation that he had set up this time be so simple? Seal! Yang Hongwu shouted, and a mysterious power of law erupted. In this space, in this formation, Yang Hongwu was the ruler, the controller, the only god in this space. As the ruler, as the controller, naturally, he could mobilize the power of law in this space. He could command the law. With a command, the power of law instantly imprisoned all the power in this space. All the rules had to follow Yang Hongwu's thoughts. Unless the other party's power had surpassed the limit of the formation, which was to surpass the level of an ordinary Tai real god. However, Lu Lin and Wang Yiming didn't have their original power. Although the two of them were Tai real gods, their cultivation was sealed when they came down to Songsheng land. They couldn't give full play to their power. Hence, they had no way to break the limit of this formation. Hence, in this formation, Yang Hongwu could do whatever he wanted to them. Of course, Yang Hongwu also had time. After all, this formation consumed too much energy. Yang Hongwu's cultivation had not recovered to Great Emperor Realm. If his cultivation had reached Great Emperor Realm, he would be able to set up such a formation for a longer period of time. However, he could not do so now. Seeing that Yang Hongwu had annihilated his attack with just one sentence, the divine spirit-breaking talisman had also fallen into Yang Hongwu's furnace. His attack had also disappeared. Lu Lin's eyes widened. He could not believe his own eyes. What kind of demonic technique was this? This was too terrifying, too terrifying. He had once heard that there was someone who cultivated the supreme law of the emperor. There was a divine ability called the absolute law of words. However, even if it was a divine monarch who cultivated such a secret technique, it wouldn't be so easy to erase his attack. The divine destruction talisman that was supposed to be activated was also stopped. Illusion, it must be an illusion. Lu Lin could not believe what was happening in front of him. He still thought that he was in an illusion. Wang Yiming on the other side was also stunned. Powerful, too powerful. He was not human at all. With just one sentence, he had stopped Lu Lin's attack. This senior was simply heaven-defying. With such strength, even the strongest invincible Sir Gods in the divine plane did not have such strength. He had no idea why this senior would appear in the lower realm. Who was he? What was his origin? However, there was one thing that was certain. This expert shouldn't be from the Common Life Temple. If the Common Life Temple had such an expert, then the Common Life Temple would have become the #1 force in the deity domain, or even control the entire deity domain. If he was not an expert from the Tsin God Palace, where did he come from? Why was he living in seclusion here? In Wang Yiming's opinion, there must be a reason for such an expert to live in such a low-level plane. Was it for some treasure? Or was it for someone? Or was it to train his mind? Anyway, at such a level, it was not something he could guess. However, there was one thing. The strength of this person was absolutely amazing. He was a true supreme expert. He might even be an expert who had surpassed the deity plane. If Yang Hongwu knew what Wang Yiming was thinking right now, he would probably laugh his head off. Although his strength was not bad, he had not even reached the great emperor realm. As for the level beyond the deity plane, it was still far away. He did not know when he would be able to reach that level. Clown, you want to scheme against me? You are overestimating yourself. Yang Hongwu sneered. He waved his hand and instantly sent Lu Lin flying. He hit the ground heavily. Lu Lin spurted out blood. He did not know how many of his bones were broken. At this moment, Lu Lin was in a sorry state. His whole body was lying on the ground. His eyes were full of resentment. He stared at Yang Hongwu as if his eyes could kill. You. Who are you? Lu Lin looked at Yang Hongwu and said, Why do you have to target me? Lu Lin was unwilling. He was originally proud and arrogant. Now that he had suffered such a blow, although he was unwilling, there was nothing he could do. His messaging charm was useless. This space was completely sealed. There was no possibility for him to ask for help. As for breaking the shackles, it was even more impossible. Therefore, at this moment, he was incomparably desperate. Who am I? Why do I have to target you? Yang Hongwu's eyes were filled with killing intent. The terrifying killing intent almost condensed into a physical form. Although Yang Hongwu did not attain Dao through killing, he was still a person who cultivated killing technique. The aura condensed by the 10-direction killing fist was extremely terrifying. The temperature of the entire space became bone-piercing, making people feel as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. You want to attack my woman. How dare you ask me why I have to target you? After hearing this, Lu Lin finally understood why Yang Hongwu wanted to target him. It turned out that the human cauldron that he had his eyes on was actually Yang Hongwu's woman. If it was anyone else who dared to attack his woman, he would not forgive that person, especially if that person was strong enough to kill that person easily. I see. Senior. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know that she was your woman. If I knew, I wouldn't have dared to come to the lower world. Please, for the sake of the Lu family and the Tai Yi Divine sect, forgive me this time. I'm willing to exchange everything I have for my cheap life. Please be magnanimous. Lu Lin did not want to die. Although he knew that the possibility of Yang Hongwu letting him go was very small, he was not willing to let go even if there was only a slight chance. After all, no one wanted to die. What do you have that I want? Moreover, after I kill you, I can still get what I want. Yang Hongwu would not let Lu Lin go. How could he let this person who dared to attack his woman and wanted to give him a fatal blow at the critical moment go? Moreover, this guy was a poisonous snake. He was too shrewd. Even if he was his dog, Yang Hongwu would despise him. Moreover, he had already violated Yang Hongwu's bottom line. If he did not kill him, he would not be able to get his way. Senior, you talk too much. Yang Hongwu did not want to talk anymore. With a wave of his hand, a huge hand condensed in the void. It instantly appeared in front of Lu Lin and crushed him. The next moment, a raging flame ignited. Lu Lin's entire body turned into nothingness in a breath. Chapter 1427. Spirit Enslavement Divine Technique. After killing Lu Lin, his physical body was destroyed. However, his Golden Sun Overlord body turned into pure energy. This was pure Yang energy, the energy of the Golden Sun. The energy of the Golden Sun condensed into a ball, as if it had turned into a scorching sun. The entire space was filled with a scorching heat. Golden Sun intent? Wang Yiming was shocked when he saw this mass of energy. This method was too terrifying. After completely destroying a person's body, even Lu Lin's bloodline energy was refined. This was the power of the Golden Sun, the origin of the Golden Sun Tyrant body. It was too terrifying for Yang Hongwu to refine it out of Lu Lin's body. He was terrified to the extreme. He was worried that Yang Hongwu would do the same to him and use his bloodline origin to deal with him like how he dealt with Lu Lin. Devour! Yang Hongwu shouted. The Spirit Breaker Divine Talisman and the scorching sun in the sky merged into the devouring furnace. After entering the devouring furnace, the Spirit Breaker Divine Talisman and the energy of the Golden Sun were refined. After the majestic energy was refined, it continued to merge into Yang Hongwu's body. His aura continued to grow stronger and his cultivation continued to rise. 1 cycle, 2 cycles. Yang Hongwu crazily devoured these energies. After about 30 breaths, Yang Hongwu's aura erupted. His cultivation had broken through. An Emperor rune condensed around Yang Hongwu's body. Half-step Great Emperor Realm. Finally, he had broken through. Yang Hongwu's cultivation had risen to half-step Great Emperor Realm at this moment. Yang Hongwu's cultivation had broken through. Compared to before, his strength had more than doubled. At this moment, there was no need for him to be afraid of anyone on this continent. Even if it was a half-step true god expert, or even those old antiques who were hiding their cultivation, Yang Hongwu was not afraid at all. If Yang Hongwu had not broken through to the half-step Great Sovereign Realm, he would still be worried about these old antiques. If there were too many of them, even if he set up a formation, it would be impossible to trap all of them. But now, Yang Hongwu was no longer worried. He no longer had any misgivings. He didn't need to worry about half-step true divinity powerhouses. As for existences beyond the half-step true divinity realm, although he couldn't deal with them, he could draw upon the power of tribulation lightning and send down heavenly tribulation to force them to ascend to the god realm. Therefore, Yang Hongwu could do whatever he wanted in the common people's continent. After retracting his aura, Yang Hongwu looked at Wang Yiming. At this moment, Wang Yiming was looking at Yang Hongwu with eyes full of reverence. It was the kind of reverence a weak person would have for a strong person. In Wang Yiming's eyes, Yang Hongwu could see that Wang Yiming was looking at him as if he was looking at a supreme divine monarch. And he himself was like an ant. Yang Hongwu knew that his image had been magnified by Wang Yiming. In fact, Yang Hongwu's strength was not as strong as Wang Yiming had imagined. In this place, Yang Hongwu could indeed easily kill Wang Yiming and control his life and death. However, if the formation was removed, then Yang Hongwu's strength would be greatly reduced. However, if this guy was tactful, he could become a chess piece for Lin Fan to enter the god realm. After all, Lin Fan would enter the god realm sooner or later. Moreover, it wouldn't take long. As long as he found the information about the Common Life Great Seal and took control of the Common Life continent, he would enter the god realm. He now knew that the Common Life continent was actually under the control of the Common Life Temple. Therefore, if he wanted to refine the Common Life continent completely, it would be tantamount to provoking the Common Life Temple. At that time, the Common Life Temple would definitely take action against him. Therefore, after entering the God realm, Yang Hongwu would have to face the pursuit of the entire Common Life Temple. Although the Common Life Temple's forces were not the strongest in the God realm, they were definitely not weak. There were as many experts as there were clouds. There might even be divine monarch experts. Unless Lin Fan's cultivation base was raised to the Tai True God realm, it would be impossible to contend against them. Therefore, before Yang Hongwu entered the God realm, he had to be fully prepared. If there was someone, preferably an enemy of the Common Life Temple, who could help him arrange some things, that would be the best. Lu Lin was obviously not suitable. Moreover, he had already been killed by Lin Fan. Now, only Wang Yiming was left. Of course, if Wang Yiming did not cooperate, there was no need to keep him alive. He could just kill him directly. Senior, I am willing to be your slave. I only hope that Senior can forgive my ignorance. Wang Yiming knelt down directly and offered a part of his soul in his hands. Yang Hongwu was surprised. This guy was actually so tactful. He had not even spoken, and he had already offered a part of his soul. There were only two possibilities for such a person. One was that he had accepted his fate directly. The other was that he was confident that he could get rid of Lin Fan's control. If it was the second possibility, it would prove that this guy was extremely scheming and shrewd. However, in Yang Hongwu's opinion, the first possibility was much higher. Moreover, even if he was scheming, Yang Hongwu was not afraid. His contract could not be broken by an existence that surpassed the Tai True God realm. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not worried at all. "All right, since you're so tactful, I won't kill you. You can become my slave." Yang Hongwu struck out with a hand seal, and a beam of light shot into Wang Yiming's head. As for Wang Yiming's soul, Yang Hongwu did not need to control it. "I don't need your soul. Now, I have already planted my unique spiritual seed in your soul and bloodline," Yang Hongwu said casually. "This spiritual seed contains a trace of my will and also the power of the great Tao lightning calamity. Even a supreme divine lord who has surpassed the true God realm would not be able to remove it. Not only that, there is also a special contract that I have integrated into it. As long as you have any thoughts that are unfavorable to me, you will suffer unbearable pain. Then, your soul will collapse and your physical body will turn into dust. You will disappear into the void and no longer exist." When Wang Yiming heard this, his entire body trembled. He had already discovered that at this moment, Yang Hongwu was his master, his overlord. His existence was solely for the sake of serving Yang Hongwu, and he had no other intentions. Yang Hongwu realized that this secret technique was really powerful. In fact, Yang Hongwu did not know where this secret technique came from. When he broke through to the half-step Great Emperor realm, the memory of this secret technique appeared in his mind. Yang Hongwu was just trying it out. He did not expect it to be so powerful. Chapter 1428. Divine Realm Heavenly List. Wang Yiming did not change much, but he knew that his life was now in the hands of Yang Hongwu. "Master, I have committed a heinous crime. I actually want to deal with you." Wang Yiming's tone was respectful, as if Yang Hongwu was his parents. No, he was even more respected than his parent. In his heart, Yang Hongwu's will was his will. No matter what Yang Hongwu asked him to do, he would do it. "Master, please give me the death penalty." Yang Hongwu could tell that Wang Yiming was not joking at this time. If Yang Hongwu asked him to die, Wang Yiming would really die. This made Yang Hongwu think of a powerful cultivation technique, the purification technique. In the untainted three realms, Zhuanti had purified many people and made them his Buddhist disciples. However, that purification technique was far less terrifying than the spiritual enslavement divine technique. Of course, although the spiritual enslavement divine technique was powerful, Yang Hongwu could not forcibly purify it. His cultivation had not reached that level. However, one thing was certain: the spiritual enslavement divine technique still had room for improvement. As his cultivation grew stronger, the spiritual enslavement divine technique would become more terrifying. If his cultivation reached the Great Emperor realm, he could purify Great Emperor realm warriors and turn them into his spiritual enslavement divine technique. However, this was not something that could be done overnight. He did not know how long it would take to reach that level. In other words, he needed a huge opportunity. Of course, if he could refine the entire mortal continent, then there would be no problem at all. Once the mortal continent was refined, he would be able to devour the origin energy of the mortal continent and open his own inner world. In this way, his cultivation could definitely recover to the Great Emperor realm. As for entering the invincible Great Emperor realm, that was not certain. "You are a disciple of the mortal palace in the divine realm?" Yang Hongwu asked. "Yes, master." "How did you know about Yuji?" Yang Hongwu was concerned about this matter. "Forgive me, master. I'm not sure about this. It should be the result of the Lu family's special secret method. Wang Yiming said, the God Realm's Lu family has a heaven oracle. His divination methods are extremely powerful. Yuji's matter was most likely divined by him. Heaven's oracle, is it a method of divination? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. So, now that Lu Lin is dead, the other party should have figured out my existence? He didn't expect that things would turn out like this. He had arranged this formation to seal the news and prevent the news from spreading. However, if the heaven oracle of the Lu family was really so powerful, wouldn't his efforts have been in vain? Everything was still exposed? Don't worry, my lord. Master Heaven Diviner from the Lu clan might be strong, but he has to pay a heavy price to divine someone special. Besides, my lord, you've set up a powerful spell formation, and you're strong enough that you have no fateless power. I doubt that Master Heaven Diviner will be able to divine your existence. Wang Yiming said, however, I'm worried that the Heaven Oracle of the Lu family will divine me. I'm not strong enough to hide myself. If the other party can't divine my situation, then you should be the same. You're now my spiritual slave, so your fate line is also void. Yang Hongwu still had this much confidence. It seemed that the Heaven Oracle of the Lu family wasn't as powerful as he thought. If he was really so powerful, he wouldn't have let Lu Lin come to the lower realm. Therefore, even if that guy was praised to be a god, the calculation method could only be used to calculate a rough estimate. What's the situation in the divine realm now? What's the distribution of forces? Yang Hongwu asked. This was something he was concerned about. He would go to the divine realm sooner or later, so it was good to know more. My lord, the divine realm is divided into 13 regions. Each region is controlled by a monarch god expert. The Common People Divine Realm is one of them. The Common People Divine Realm is controlled by the Common People Divine Palace, and the Tai Divine Realm is controlled by the Tai Divine Palace. The Common People continent we're in now is a small world in the Common People Divine Realm. Wang Yiming said, the strongest force in the Divine Realm is the Ancient Firmament Divine Realm. The Ancient Firmament Divine Lord of the Ancient Firmament Divine Realm is the strongest expert in the Divine Realm. There are many experts in the Ancient Firmament Divine Realm, and there are 3 monarch god experts. Therefore, the Ancient Firmament Divine Realm is the strongest, and no other divine realm dares to provoke it. Next are the Divine Knife Divine Realm and the Wand Swords Divine Realm. These 2 divine realms are equal in strength, but they're sworn enemies. What about the Common People Divine Realm and the Tai Divine Realm? Yang Hongwu asked, what's the position of these 2 forces? At the bottom. Wang Yiming said, the Common People Divine Realm and the Tai Divine Realm belong to the bottom 3 regions, also known as the lower 3 regions. They're the weakest. The Ancient Firmament Divine Realm, the Divine Knife Divine Realm, and the Wand Swords Divine Realm belong to the upper 3 regions. Do you know if there's a pure sacred body in the Divine Realm? Yang Hongwu asked. A woman with a pure sacred body was most likely his woman. Of course, it wasn't 100%, but there were very few women with a pure sacred body. Of course there are, but they're very rare. I only know of 2 people. One is the Holy Maiden of the Spirit Dream Divine Realm, and the other is the Holy Maiden of the Ancient Firmament Divine Realm. I don't know about the others. Wang Yiming said. What are their names? Yang Hongwu was happy to hear this and asked. Wang Yiming shook his head. I don't know. These 2 people have never appeared before. We only know about them from the Holy Maiden list of the Divine Realm's Heaven ranking. Wang Yiming said. Heaven ranking of the Divine Realm? Yang Hongwu looked at him and said, what's the Heaven ranking of the Divine Realm? The Heaven ranking of the Divine Realm is a very special place. It's a ranking for the experts, geniuses, and divine objects of the Divine Realm. It's divided into the Expert List, Genius List, Dragon List, Holy Maiden List, Divine Object List, exotic beast list, and so on. Wang Yiming said, on this list, it records the top experts, treasures, and even secret skills of the divine realm. Those who are on the list are very terrifying. The Holy Maiden list is a list of the most outstanding women in the divine realm. The women on this list are all outstanding beauties with extraordinary talent. It's a list that the entire continent pays attention to. Wang Yiming explained, the women on this list are the dream companions of all the geniuses in the divine realm. How did these rankings come out? Yang Hongwu asked. Or rather, what kind of people and forces did they come up with these rankings? Chapter 1429. Chaotic Sir God, forget it. Looking at Wang Yiming's appearance, he probably didn't know much. Moreover, to Yang Hongwu, it was enough for him to know the general situation in the divine realm. After all, he still needed some time to go to the divine realm. He wouldn't enter the divine realm immediately. As for the so-called saintess list in the divine realm sky ranking, he would only know how many of them were his women after he entered the divine realm. Yang Hongwu only hoped that all of them would be safe and that nothing would happen to them. If anyone dared to harm his women, he would definitely let them know what it meant to live a life worse than death. He would make them regret being born in this world. Master, your subordinate is useless. Please punish me. Wang Yiming saw Yang Hongwu's reaction and immediately knelt down with his head lowered. Yang Hongwu looked at Wang Yiming's performance and couldn't help but sigh at the power of the spiritual servitude, divine technique. As long as he showed the slightest hint of dissatisfaction, Wang Yiming would be like this. He had to admit that this secret technique was too terrifying and too powerful. You don't have to be like this. It's not your fault. Yang Hongwu said, do you have anything else that can increase your cultivation or have boundless energy? Something with a huge amount of energy, this. Oh right, Master, I have something that contains a huge amount of energy. However, the energy is very violent and no one can absorb it. I don't know if it will be of any help to Master. Wang Yiming said. What is it? Take it out and let me see. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. To Yang Hongwu, there was no energy that he couldn't absorb and refine. He had the devouring furnace and his devouring furnace could devour everything. No matter what it was, it could devour it. This is the jade pendant. I obtained this jade pendant from an ancient relic. It contains a terrifying amount of energy. However, this jade pendant is extremely terrifying. Once the physical body comes into contact with the jade pendant, it will cause the Dharma power in the body to go berserk. Moreover, the Dharma power will be absorbed by the jade pendant. If you are not careful, you will be sucked dry and become a cripple. Wang Yiming said, even if you use a special secret method to trigger the energy within the jade pendant, the energy that erupts is extremely violent. There's no way to refine it. Let me see. Yang Hongwu reached out to grab it. Seeing this, Wang Yiming was shocked. Master, you can't. This jade pendant is very strange. You can't touch it directly. It's fine. Yang Hongwu wasn't worried at all. He operated the devouring furnace. He didn't believe that a mere jade pendant could devour his magic power. In front of the devouring furnace, what could stop it? What kind of joke was this? His devouring furnace was supreme, and nothing could stand against it. After grabbing the jade pendant, Yang Hongwu felt a suction force. This suction force was very powerful. It should be a special kind of law power. However, this special kind of law power was so small in front of his devouring furnace. It couldn't resist at all. That suction force was instantly offset by his devouring furnace. In the next moment, Yang Hongwu felt a surge of energy from the jade pendant. This energy was very violent and contained countless negative energy. It's really powerful. Yang Hongwu realized that the negative energy was very violent. The negative energy was all some kind of complicated law power. Since it was the law power, he was sure that this jade pendant wasn't that simple. How could an ordinary jade pendant contain so much law power? Yang Hongwu suddenly thought of a term. The law of chaos. Yes, this should be the law of chaos. Wang Yiming, have you heard of the law of chaos? Yang Hongwu asked. The law of chaos? Wang Yiming cried out in surprise. Master, you're saying that this jade pendant contains the law of chaos? I'm just guessing. Yang Hongwu said. The law of chaos. Rumor has it that the divine domain wasn't originally divided into 13 divine domains. It was the entire continent of the divine domain. At that time, experts were as common as clouds. There were countless experts on the entire continent. However, there was a divine monarch who was extremely powerful and domineering. His name was the divine monarch of chaos. His strength could sweep through the experts on the entire continent. He was the emperor of all the divine monarchs. No one dared to disobey his orders. The divine monarch of chaos? This jade pendant should be related to the so-called divine monarch of chaos. Yang Hongwu said. Congratulations, master. Congratulations on obtaining such a precious treasure. Wang Yiming said happily. The divine monarch of chaos. That was the divine monarch of chaos, a supreme expert of the ancient god domain. Every single one of his possessions was an incomparably precious existence. Even if it was the bed he used, the praying mat he used, and so on, they all contained extremely astonishing laws and supreme secret. If one could comprehend the mysteries within them, one's strength would improve greatly. 1,000 years ago, a broken futon appeared in the divine domain. That broken futon was used by the divine monarch of chaos. At that time, countless experts started a war for that futon. That war could be said to have been fought until the sky turned dark. Countless experts fell on the battlefield for the sake of that broken futon of the divine monarch of chaos. This showed how precious the items of the divine monarch of chaos were. 5,000 years ago, the Sky-Reaching Alliance obtained the handwriting of the divine monarch of chaos. It was an insignificant handwriting that didn't contain any secret techniques or divine abilities. It was just something that the divine monarch of chaos had casually left behind. After the Sky-Reaching Alliance obtained it, they auctioned it in the Sky-Reaching auction house. At that time, all the divine monarchs of the 13 divine domains were present. That handwriting was bought by the ancient blue divine monarch for 100 billion divine origin stones. Therefore, in the divine domain, no matter what it was, as long as it was related to the divine monarch of chaos, it was extremely precious. Every single one of them was a supreme treasure that all the major forces fought over. Therefore, when Wang Yiming found out that this jade pendant might have been left behind by the divine monarch of chaos, he was pleasantly surprised. Yes, I hope that after devouring this jade pendant, my cultivation will rise to another level and break through the bottleneck of the half-step Great Emperor realm. Yang Hongwu looked at Wang Yiming and said, This time, you have done a great service. In the future, I will reward you well. Chapter 1430. Divine Realm Plan. Alright, you don't have to be like this. I will remember your contribution and will not treat you unfairly in the future. Yang Hongwu patted his shoulder and said, However, this time, will you be in trouble when you return to the divine realm? Yang Hongwu was still worried about this matter. This was a very good servant who could help him do many things in the divine realm. If he was killed the moment he returned to the divine realm, it would be too much of a pity. If the Lu family's Heaven's Oracle is unable to calculate the matters here, then there shouldn't be a big problem. Although the Lu family is powerful, they have many enemies in the divine realm. They even have many enemies in the Tai-E divine sect. Wang Yiming said. By the way, are you an array master? Yang Hongwu looked at him and asked, Will the arrays I set up be of help to you? Previously, Wang Yiming had been studying the arrays that he had set up. Moreover, in the process of studying the arrays that he had set up, his strength had continued to increase. If the arrays that he had set up could increase Wang Yiming's strength by a level, it would be good news. After all, Yang Hongwu was not worried that Wang Yiming would betray him. The divine spirit slave technique was too powerful. Even if Wang Yiming's strength increased by a few levels and entered the divine monarch realm, it would still be impossible for him to break through the shackles of the divine spirit slave technique. Therefore, it was impossible for him to betray him. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not worried about Wang Yiming's strength increasing at all. The stronger Wang Yiming was, the more help he would be to him. Therefore, Yang Hongwu naturally hoped that Wang Yiming would become even stronger. Of course, he could give Wang Yiming some arrays. However, Yang Hongwu would not give Wang Yiming some special arrays. After all, Wang Yiming's strength had not reached a very powerful level. Wang Yiming might not be able to protect the memories of some powerful people who had special secret technique. If the information about those special arrays was leaked, it would not be a good thing. It might cause some unnecessary trouble for him in the future. Of course, Yang Hongwu was not worried about some illusory arrays or unimportant arrays. Yes, Master. Master's array skills are extensive and profound. This subordinate is far from being able to compare. If I can receive Master's guidance, this subordinate's array skills will definitely improve by leaps and bounds, and I will become the Tai E Divine Sect's #1 array master. At that time, this subordinate's status in the divine realm. Then, this subordinate's status in the divine sect. Lu family and Marshal Hall of the Tai E Divine Sect dare to do anything to me. Wang Yim to Yang Yang looks with Yang Yang's tea. Yang Hongwu to be honest to be to him two's to be a dog two's to be a dog. Yang well. Are you saying that if you can fully comprehend the arrays I set up before, your strength will increase by a lot and you will become the #1 array master of the Tai E Divine Sect? Yang Hongwu asked. Yes, master. Wang Yim nodded. That's good. I have some formations here, as well as some of my understanding of formations. I'll hand them over to you now. I hope that your strength can rise to a higher level. When the time comes, you'll be able to help me in the divine domain. Don't die before I go to the divine domain. That would be too embarrassing for me. Yang Hongwu flicked his finger as he spoke. Wang Yim did not resist at all. Yang Hongwu's finger landed directly on Wang Yim's forehead. Yang Hongwu transmitted some basic array skills and the key points of arrangement into Wang Yim's mind. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. Wang Yim was overjoyed. Although these were basic arrays, Wang Yim found that these arrays had Yang Hongwu's unique understanding. These arrays were much simpler than the arrays he knew. Moreover, they were much more powerful. With this knowledge, his array skills would increase by several times. He was confident that once he digested all of this array knowledge, his array skills would surpass any array master in the Tai E Divine Sect. He would even surpass those old antiques in the array formation hall. At that time, when his strength increased, he wouldn't need to fear anyone in the Tai E Divine Sect. When he thought of this, Wang Yiming's eyes were filled with reverence when he stared at Yang Hongwu. This was his master. How powerful was he? How majestic was he? No one could compare to him. He was the true grandest god, the ruler of the myriad worlds. No other experts could be compared to him. It was his greatest honor to be his servant. All right. You don't have to kowtow. Yang Hongwu looked at Wang Yiming, who was kowtowing on the ground. A large crater appeared on the solid ground from his kowtow. Moreover, he did not use any magic power. His head was already swollen. Yang Hongwu did not know whether to laugh or cry when he saw Wang Yim's foolish behavior. This kind of servant was really annoying and funny. However, one thing was for sure. Wang Yim was extremely loyal to him. Wang Yim stood up when he heard Yang Hongwu's words. He said, "Thank you, Master." "Oh yes, there are some array discs here. They should be of great help to you." Yang Hongwu handed Wang Yim some array disc. These array discs were casually refined by Yang Hongwu. They were all basic array discs. In fact, these array discs were useless to Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu could arrange some basic array disks with a snap of his fingers. There was no need for array disks at all. Therefore, Yang Hongwu did not need many array disks. The array disks that could be used were some powerful array disks. They were at least Emperor-grade array disks. Only Yang Hongwu needed array disks. Of course, under special circumstances, such as when one's spiritual power and magic power were exhausted, one would need array disks to arrange the array disk. The possibility of such a situation was really low. If it really came to that point, would ordinary basic array disks be of any use? Therefore, Yang Hongwu did not even think about the basic array disks stored in the space. He simply threw them all to Wang Yiming. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.